Collective! Welcome back to my channel. I am the Nosy Witch and this is my channel, Nosy Witch Tarot. This reading will be titled, Respectfully, What the F is their problem with you? So please bear in mind that this is a collective reading and I can't speak on every individual situation. However, I do set the intention that this reading will not only be timeless, but it can also refer to all different kinds of relationships. So this could be about a romantic partnership or somebody who you are talking to in a romantic way. It could also be about a friendship. It could be about a colleague. It could be about a family member. It could really be about anybody. But the idea with this reading is we are going to be kind of uncovering this person's thoughts and feelings in relation to you and finding out what their problem is. So I guess the inspiration, if you want to call it that, for this reading just comes from those certain interactions you have with people where you are left confused and wondering what the F is that person's problem. So I'm talking about those situations where you approach somebody very nicely, very respectfully. There is no fight, no drama, nothing on your end, but for some reason, this person just seems to have an issue with you and you just really don't know why. You've been friendly towards them, you've been smiling, you've been trying to have a good time, you've been trying to not create drama, but for some reason you get the sense that this person just really has a problem with you, really doesn't like you. And honestly, you have no idea what you have done to offend them. You have no idea where that's come from. So basically, this reading is just uncovering what this person's problem is and why they are behaving in that way, why they are interacting with you in a way that makes you feel like that. And now I know that this reading could be interpreted as kind of like negative if we are focusing on the reasons why somebody might not like you. However, I want this more than anything to be a reading that simply provides clarity on what your intuition already knows. And I also want this to be a kind of source of comfort because ultimately it's not your responsibility to change this person's mind. If this person has a problem with you and you have not done anything to make this person feel that way, it is not your responsibility to then go away and think about how you can change your behavior or change who you are as a person in order to accommodate them. That's not what this is about. I think I want to offer more of a source of comfort to the collective, more as reassurance for you that, if you have picked up on a vibe that somebody isn't keen on you and you can't work out why, this is just reassurance that it is not all in your head, but equally, it is not your job to fix that situation. I think it can be a source of comfort sometimes when we can understand people's motivations a little bit better. So I think that's what this reading is about. And yes, also, it is because I am a little bit nosy and I also want to know the gossip. And if you want to know the gossip too, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. You came to the right place, and we are about to get started with these readings. As usual, we are going to start the readings by looking at these oracle cards. So the oracle cards will kind of symbolize the overarching energy of this person. It might give you a little bit of insight into who this person is. Then the next portion of the reading will be the tarot reading, and that will expand on this energy a little bit further, and we might talk about some more specific scenarios in relation to you and this person and any interactions that you might have had. We will not only chat about who this person is, but also why they have a problem with you. And we might also roll the astro dice at some point just to get a little bit more confirmation. So if that's something you're interested in, please stay tuned. We are about to get on with the reading. I will just go through the piles very briefly. So you will pick from one of these 4 piles. Over here we have pile 1 and the yellow crystal heart. We have pile 1 and the yellow crystal heart. Over here we have pile 2 and the red crystal heart. We have pile 2 and the red crystal heart. Here we have pile 3 and the blue crystal heart. We have pile 3 and the blue crystal heart. And over here we have pile 4 and the tortoise shell crystal heart. We have pile 4 and the tortoise shell crystal heart. I would encourage you to use your intuition to pick from one of these 4 piles. You can also pick more than one pile if more than one is calling to you. That is absolutely fine. If for whatever reason you are a little bit disconnected from your intuition today, then please feel free to use a random number picker online in order to pick a pile for you. The worst that can happen is that you start to listen and it doesn't resonate, and that just means that you can go and pick a different pile. That is absolutely fine, no harm done. If you are finding that none of the readings resonate with you, you do not have to claim the story that comes across in these readings. That is also more than okay. This reading is intended to be timeless, so although this reading might not resonate with you right now, it might do at some point in the future, and you are welcome to return to this reading whenever. Maybe the messages in this reading aren't for you right now, they could be in the future. If they're not for you right now, that is okay. There are plenty of other readers and plenty of other readings out there. I will not be offended if you do not want to listen to mine. So the timestamps for each pile will be in the description below and also pinned in the comments below. All of the oracle and tarot decks that I am going to use in this reading will be listed in the description below if you would like to go and purchase any of those decks for yourself or for a friend. They will all be below. I'm going to try not to ramble much further, but also as a little side note, please ignore my nails. As a little hobby of mine, I like to just paint my own press-on nails when I have a bit of spare time. It just relaxes me, it's just something I enjoy, but I don't usually wear them this long. On the off chance you are wondering about that, you're probably not. But these are just like my practice nails. I kind of like to use longer nails to practice designs and stuff on because it's just easier when you have like a bigger surface area. So I don't really wear nails like these in my day-to-day life. But they are just my little practice nails. They are not very practical at all, but I just like to use them to practice cute designs. And the only place I can really wear them is, I guess, on videos, so sometimes I do that. So that's what I'm doing today. Finally, if you like this video and if you like my style of content, I would appreciate it so much if you could comment on the video, like the video, and if at all possible, please subscribe. That would mean the absolute world to me. I notice every single like, every single comment, and every single subscriber, and I appreciate anyone who has done any of that. I really appreciate all the support I've gotten so far. It means such a lot to me and I can't thank you enough. I am so grateful, and I just hope that you really enjoy this video. And if you are a returning viewer and you have not yet subscribed, maybe think about subscribing. No pressure if not, but it would help me massively. Knowing that I'm helping someone will help me continue to make content, continue to make videos. So any way you can let me know that you like the content would be absolutely brilliant. And I just appreciate you all so much for being here, and anyone who's commented so far, I really do take those comments to heart. I really do appreciate it. Without further hesitation, let's get into the video. Hi Pile 1 Collective. If you chose Pile 1 and you chose this yellow crystal heart, this will be your reading. This reading is titled, respectfully, What the F is their problem? This reading is going to be all about who has an issue with you at the moment. It's going to be focused on somebody in your life who seems to have a problem with you and you're not really sure why. We're going to talk about who this person is, what their problem is, and why they have a problem with you. If you would like more details regarding what this reading will entail, then please check out the introduction. I also do just want to say I appreciate every single person who has liked the video, who has given me a comment, and who has subscribed so far. It really does mean the absolute world to me. If you do like my style of content, if you do like this video, please give it a like. Please click the thumbs up button below, please leave me a comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. All of that would mean the absolute world to me and I would appreciate it so much. Okay, without hesitation, Pile 1, let's just go ahead and get straight into your reading and we'll see what we've got for you today. Okay, so Pile 1, we have got the Hawk and Thistle, Graceful Persistence. We have got number 27, Witch, Justice is Coming. And from the Soul Truth Oracle, we have got the card, to whom am I comparing myself right now? And then on the back, this says, what you are able to see in another is only visible because it is within you, ready to be brought out. Shine light on this feeling of not enough and see the truth. All that you need and want is within you. Today, soul action. Today, stop comparing and start creating. Okay, so pile one, respectfully, the reason this person has a problem with you is because they are very much comparing themselves to you. There is a lot of jealousy on this person's side towards you. There is this feeling of rivalry and competition. I did say in my introduction that, this reading, this person who we're focusing on, it can be anyone. It can be a romantic interest, a friend, a colleague, a family member, an associate of some kind, or just somebody who you are generally familiar with and you've interacted with and you've thought, what is that person's problem? They don't seem to like me and I don't really know why. So I'm kind of considering a few different scenarios when I look at these cards in terms of who this might be. But either way, the overarching energy is one of this sense of competition, of this rivalry, this jealousy of some kind. It's like this person has a problem with you because they either cannot be you or they can't have access to some of the things that you have. And they see your access to these things as unfair. They see it as unjust. But I feel as though they are not really seeing the full picture, because I think you are showing up in this hawk and thistle energy, this energy of graceful persistence. So, in terms of your energy, I do get this sense that you are a persistent person and you have this gracefulness about you. I get the impression that you are very much somebody who does a lot of work on yourself in a kind of behind the scenes way. You don't necessarily brag loudly to all who will listen about the things that you've accomplished, the things that you want to do. I get the sense that maybe you are somebody who keeps your goals to yourself, but once you have a goal in mind, you are kind of laser focused on it and you don't let anything stop you from getting to that stage, getting to what you want. But with it saying graceful, I get the sense that you are not somebody who does this in a ruthless way. So, for example, if this is in terms of like a work setting or something like that, you are able to persistently make effort towards reaching a certain goal, learning a certain skill, getting to a certain stage. But you do not have to step on anybody's toes in order to do that. You do not have to like throw another colleague under the bus in order to showcase your skills, something like that. Basically, I get the sense that you're not somebody who has to put others down in order to lift themselves up. And I think that is something that this person very much has a problem with, because they might feel, due to their own insecurity, that they do have to put others down. Like, in order for them to shine, they have to put other people down, they have to knock other people's confidence in order for them to step into their full confidence in some way. So the fact that you do not have to do that to get what you want in life, it feels quite alien to this person and it feels quite unsettling for them. I also get the feeling that this person who has a problem with you is somebody who has to seek validation by talking quite loudly about their accomplishments. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with somebody receiving praise for something that they've worked hard on and something that they've put a lot of effort into. I would encourage everyone to share their, achievements with their friends, their family, things like that. I think that's very healthy. It's sometimes nice to have that little bit of an ego boost. But for this person, I very much get the sense that it is all about ego and about not them doing the things that they want to do for their internal well-being and for their self-growth, but in order to get that validation, that approval from other people. And I think they feel a lot of intense jealousy, not just towards you, but I think when they perceive anyone as being or doing better than them, or when other people are recognized for their accomplishments and are given praise, I think this person really doesn't like it. They just feel this automatic sense of competition with that person. And it comes from this very deeply rooted insecurity, I feel. And it could go either way. Potentially, this was somebody who wasn't given a lot of praise when they were growing up. Maybe they weren't given a lot of attention when they were growing up, but maybe one or both of their parents was quite absent physically or emotionally, something like that. And as they were growing up, it made them seek validation from external sources more and more. And maybe they use accomplishments as a way to get people's attention, a way to get this praise. So something deeply rooted in them feels very threatened when somebody else is receiving praise. Maybe as a child, it took them doing something absolutely huge, like something on a grand scale, in order for them to receive a tiny scrap of attention or a tiny scrap of praise. So, therefore, they associate that praise with feeling loved, and therefore they feel very threatened. They feel very insecure when somebody else is receiving that praise, receiving that acknowledgement, because it makes them feel as though you or somebody else who is generally doing better is taking some of their love away from them. This person has a lot to work through in terms of, comparing themselves to other people, but particularly you. And if this person is somebody who wants to continually achieve, I feel like they're just blocking their own blessings by letting their ego get in the way. Because unlike you, where like if you have a goal in mind, it's like you're this hawk, your eyes are focused on the prize, there is nothing else in your sights. This person is getting distracted by their ego. They're getting distracted by these sort of negative thoughts of you, of comparing themselves to you, of comparing their situation and the way they deal with things to you. Because of the colour of these cards, I'm getting a little bit of fire energy. That could either be you or this person. I'm not saying like, oh, this person is such a sign, so that's what's making them act this way. It's just a little bit of confirmation. If you do have someone in mind who is a fire sign, it's just confirmation for you that we're talking about that person. That is all. That's the only reason I would be mentioning signs. The number 27 could also be significant to you. Maybe this is around the age you are now or around the age this person is now. It doesn't have to be, but again, it's just an extra little bit of confirmation if that does apply. It could be that this person is really quite jealous of you because the way you approach things with such grace, I get the sense that you are somebody who is quite sort of diplomatic and approaches things from a place of love, and you don't necessarily have to brag about things you've achieved in order to get that validation. And this person really envies that because I get the sense that they are quite an abrasive person. It's like they have to speak quite loudly about all their accomplishments. They have to be quite vocal about it. And if you are a sort of more diplomatic person, this could be somebody who, let's say, if you work together, this doesn't have to apply, but let's say you're dealing with a situation at work, they could really envy your ability to deal with certain situations that come up diplomatically and in a way that's sort of fair to everyone and in a way that kind of like mediates the situation. They could be somebody who's a little bit more confrontational. They could be, like I say, like quite abrasive, and they could come off a little bit aggressive at times. And maybe they just sort of envy your ability to not suddenly jump into that confrontational or aggressive energy. Maybe you sort of have a lot of self control, a lot of tact about you in terms of dealing with people. And that's just not the energy that they naturally reside in. They might have a lot of internal and external rage. They might be just generally a little bit of an angry person. And when they see you dealing with other people from a place of love and interacting with this sense of diplomacy and tact, it's like they don't believe that that's the real you. They think you're being kind of fake or something like that because they don't believe that somebody could truly be that loving. So sometimes it's like they might act in a way to sort of try and rile you up and try and get that more aggressive reaction out of you because they want you to sort of come down and stoop to their level, but you just don't give them that. You don't give them the satisfaction of being that way. This doesn't have to be a colleague, and I think maybe we will get some more details on, the scenarios it could be when we look at the tarot, but that was just one example of somebody who this might be. But it could honestly be anybody. At this stage, I'm not too sure. Because I sense as well with this sort of graceful persistence card that you have done a lot of your inner work behind the scenes, and these goals that you seek out to achieve, you do it sort of very step by step, very methodically, you slowly work your way towards those goals rather than trying to find like cheat codes, rather than trying to find shortcuts. It's like if you set your sights on something, you go after it, but you don't have to talk about it to anyone who will listen. That's, very much the overarching energy that I'm getting. So I think this person feels this deep sense of injustice that you have access to some of the success that you do. Now, that doesn't have to be in like a material sense. It doesn't have to be that you're very well off in terms of finance or anything like that. This could be in terms of your job position or in terms of like your family, the kind of partner you have. It could even be like physical appearance, the kind of body you have, or something like that. This person could just hold a lot of envy for whatever position and whatever perceived successes they see you as having, because they feel in their mind like you haven't worked hard enough for it, which isn't the case. I think, any good thing that you have made happen is due to your own hard work and own dedication. But because, when it comes to them, it's like they have to be quite loud and brash about all the things they've achieved or all the things they're doing. It's like they see you and they're like, oh, this came to Pal 1 so easily. Pal 1 got this, this, and this, and they didn't even have to work for it. And it's like they're not seeing the whole picture. So this could even be somebody who, kind of watches you from afar on social media, and they see you sort of living your best life. Even if you just posted a picture of yourself looking nice or something like that, and let's say this is in relation to your body or how you physically look, it could be that they're looking at you. It's like their insecurity is coming through and saying like, Pal 1 has such an amazing figure. Like, I work way harder than Pal 1 at keeping myself in shape and my figure doesn't look that good. They didn't even have to work for it. It's really unfair. And again, they're comparing themselves to you and they're not knowing all the things that you've done behind the scenes to achieve that. It doesn't have to be just with a body, but it could be in terms of like them just seeing you as having things come in easily to you, them seeing you as being a very abundant person, but not necessarily having to work for it. But I think as well, this is such a shame because if this person took the time to get to know you better and to approach this through a lens of them learning from you about how to achieve some of the things that you have or how to be in that more sort of diplomatic or graceful energy, I think you would be very, very willing to help them out. I think you could have a sit down conversation with this person on your end at least. And I think you would be very honest and kind of say, like, look, I haven't always had all these amazing things. I've had to work for this. I've been through this. Like, I've also been through things in my past that I've had to work through, and I've had to make the effort consistently towards these goals. I think you would be very open with this person about that. But I think, again, because they are continually comparing themselves to you, I think this person kind of doesn't want to hear it because I don't think they want to acknowledge the fact that if they're not at a place that they want to be in their own life, they have no one to blame for that but themselves. Yes, we all face challenges, you included, but I think they just want to see it through a lens of like, well, Pal 1 hasn't had all the challenges in life that I've had. I think they are a person who very much likes to talk about how much they've gone through, how much they've been through. So if anybody in their vicinity kind of has an accomplishment, it's like they simultaneously want to brag about their accomplishments whilst also being in a kind of victim mentality. It could even be in terms of like small successes, which really shouldn't matter, like if you do or don't do it either way. But it's like it really matters to this person that they can't always compete with you or other people. So it could be something as simple as like you and a group of friends say that like you're going to read a certain amount of books this year or something like that, or you set yourself a goal of like, I have to read this many books in this month or something along those lines. So it could be that you and this group are out and you're talking about how many books you've read, and maybe the goal was like 2 books a month, let's say. So maybe some of your friends are like, oh, well, yeah, I managed to read 2. Let's talk about this book, something like that. And maybe you are like, well, actually, I managed to read 3 books this month. I'm so proud of myself. Like, I'm so happy to get back into reading. It's just meant to be this positive thing that shouldn't really matter. And then it's like this person who has a problem with you pipes up and they'll just try to make it into a negative. They'll be like, oh, well, if you manage to read 3, like, you obviously just have too much time on your hands. I haven't even read 1 because I had this to do and I had this to do. You lot don't know what it's like to have this to do. It's like they make it all about them when really it should just be kind of focused on this positive thing. So even in terms of like friendly competition or, you know, a group of people trying to motivate each other to achieve one particular goal, it's like they turn it into this negative thing. And it's like you're not even allowed to be happy for that small accomplishment that you've had. It's like you're not allowed to bring it up because it would make this other person feel bad, and they're just sort of quite toxic about it. And I feel like you're the type of person, because you're there and you're just trying to be nice, you might try and give them sort of a friendly pro tip or something like that. So I don't know what that would be in like the book example. But you could just say something like, oh, like, you know what really helped me read more this month was using this app or something like that, or like motivating myself by like tracking my reading in a journal or something like that. You could suggest, you know, kind of one of those ideas. And this person does not take that the way it's intended. This person is quite offended by that. They see you as being like condescending towards them from just trying to give like friendly advice. And I don't think you are being condescending at all. I think this all comes from this person's defensiveness and their own insecurities. But they'll kind of snap back at you and say, well, I don't need any advice on how to read a book. I know how to read a book. You don't need to tell me this. And then they'll throw something really unnecessary back in your face. Like they might say something like, remember when we were in school, you only got a B in reading and I got an A. So trust me, I know how to read books. I'm better at it than you. When really you weren't even comparing yourself in that way. And it's about these things that just don't even matter at all. But they make it into a massive thing and you're just thinking it's not even that deep. Why are you getting so stressed about it? But that's just the way this person is. There's this deep-rooted insecurity, there's this huge sense of defensiveness, and, you know, sometimes they can get a little bit aggressive, but I think it's just because they see this competition with you and they see you as being very abundant and them not being able to live up to their own standards and therefore comparing themselves to you and other people around you who they perceive as being better than them. But again, it does just come from insecurity, which is really unfortunate. With this card and there being like clothes and an open wardrobe on the card, it's making me think of sort of somebody being jealous of your outfits or something like that, or your material success in some way. And, you know, if you do something on social media where you might get like free items of some kind, it could be that this person is jealous of that. And they're like, why does Pile 1 get access to all these things? I should get access to this and I don't. And it's just quite frustrating to them. But again, they don't realize all the work that you've put in behind the scenes in order to be able to have these nice things. I'm also getting the sense that this person is very much into like one-upmanship. So they're the kind of person, you know exactly the kind of person that I mean. If you say, I got 76% on this test, they got 77% on the test. If you say you won first place at your dance recital, then they won first place at their dance recital, but they also had a broken arm and no legs. It's just like everything has to be, well, I did this, but better. And you're not even trying to compete with them in that way. But again, they see this sense of competition with you. And the jealousy just kind of consumes them. It gets on top of them. It makes them quite rageful. And on your side, you're just kind of thinking, like, why does this person have such a problem with me? But that is why they are incredibly jealous of you due to their own insecurities. So that is what I'm getting for your oracle reading, Pile 1. We are just going to have a little look at the astro dice before looking at your tarot cards, so please bear with me while we roll those. Pile 1. Okay, Pile 1. So we have Aquarius. We have Aquarius. We have Pluto. We have Pluto. And we have the 5th house. We have the 5th house. So with this Pluto showing up, I do really get the sense that, this person could potentially be quite destructive in the way that they are self-destructive because instead of focusing on, all these things that they could cultivate in their own life and for themselves, they are more focused on trying to destruct your self-esteem, your ability to enjoy things. They are more concerned with trying to break people down rather than trying to build them up and rather than trying to focus on their own accomplishments. And that is just such a shame. It could also be that there is some Scorpio energy showing up here, either on their side or on your side. And if Scorpio is significant for them, and again, I say this with love because I am a Scorpio sun myself, but on the shadow side of Scorpio, they can, harbor onto resentment and things like that. They can be very jealous. Scorpio often goes through a lot of transformations in their life, a lot of deaths and rebirths, and it could be that this person is in such a sort of downtrodden energy at this current stage of their life where they are sort of imploding, they are self destructing, they are becoming obsessed with one-upmanship in terms of getting one over on you, like being better than you, instead of literally just focusing on themselves and what would make them happy. It's like this, constant competition with you because they have this sort of fixation, this fascination with you and of doing better than you. And it's such a shame because I feel like if they were to establish a friendship with you, I think you would let them in on all the tips and tricks that you use, but they're just not interested in it. They'd rather sort of self destruct and be, potentially quite destructive towards other people as well. With the fifth house and the fifth house being a Leo house, on the shadow side of Leo, they can have a very competitive streak. So if Leo is significant in their chart, this could be the case that they always feel like they're, again, in competition with you. It could also be that they are jealous of your creativity or they are jealous of your confidence in some way. Or like if you walk into a room and people look at you, people think you're attractive, you kind of steal the show in that way, you shine quite brightly, you're this source of light, of warmth. It's like they're very envious of that and they have a problem with you just due to the fact that you might steal the spotlight in that way. It's like they can't stand it. Maybe they are jealous of if you put something out into the world that you are proud of in terms of your creativity. Maybe they are jealous of that, that they can't do that. Maybe they are jealous that they don't have the confidence to do that. And with this Aquarius coming up, again, Aquarius could be significant to you, but it doesn't have to be. But maybe they are envious of the fact that you are maybe quite a humanitarian person, and that feels alien to them. It feels like fake when somebody wants to do good for others and do good for the world because they just can't relate to that. They're used to sort of only wanting to talk and do things about themselves. Maybe they don't truly believe that somebody could want to be a source of light and a source of empowerment for other people in the world because they themselves are not showing up in that energy. On the shadow side, Aquarius can sometimes be associated with being quite detached, which in some ways can be a positive thing. But just talking about the shadow side, it could be that this person is very detached from their own wants because they are too busy kind of being obsessed with you and what you are doing and comparing themselves to you and to other people, that they aren't really in touch with their own emotions and what they might want from their own life. So that is what I'm getting for you, Pile 1. We are going to move on to the tarot portion of your reading, so please bear with me and we'll have a look at that. Hi, Pile 1. Welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's just get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, Pile 1, so we have the Nine of Pentacles reversed, the Three of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Fool, the King of Swords reversed, Justice, the Queen of Cups, and the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, Pile 1, what I am getting by looking at these cards is that this is very much a person who, again, as we said in the oracle reading, and this is just confirmation, they are jealous. They are jealous. They are in competition in some way, because they perceive you as being very abundant. It could be that they perceive you as being privileged in some way. They could blame their lack of ability to achieve the goals that they want to achieve on them, suffering more hardship than you in their mind. And this might not be the case at all. This is not me saying that you've come from a privileged background or anything like that. But whatever the case may be, it's like this person isn't acknowledging the hardship that you might have experienced in your life. And instead, they're just kind of saying, oh, well, I couldn't achieve this, and Pal 1 only achieved it because they have their family's money to fall back on. They could only do XYZ because they have this inheritance or something like that, some kind of material stability to fall back on that they're claiming not to have, but that they think you have. They think you are like privileged in some way. They think that you can afford more than what they can, that you get more opportunities than them, just generally that you are more abundant with them. And they really have a problem with that because it's like in their mind, they don't think that you've worked for it, but that is just their perception. Again, they don't see, all the work that you've done behind the scenes in order to achieve this. They just think you've had it so easy and they've had it so hard, and you can't possibly understand their situation. I don't think they're just like this with you. I think any sort of like friends or like acquaintances that they meet, I think they are very willing and ready to like tell their sob story in a way. And, just because other people, yourself included, you might not be like that. You might not wear your heart on your sleeve quite in that way. You might not immediately tell like strangers about all the things that you've been through, all the things that you've experienced. It's like because you don't do that, they assume that you therefore haven't experienced hardship and, nobody could possibly understand what they're going through. They're just very much that kind of person, who talks about all of their struggles, but doesn't really acknowledge that, other people have struggles. They might actually be somebody who lacks a lot of empathy when it comes to like, if you say like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to cancel our plans today, I'm really ill, or something like that. It's like they have zero empathy for it. They'll say something like, well, I was really looking forward to seeing you today because I have all this going on and I have this going on, and the fact that you've cancelled is really inconvenient for me. Like, there's no sort of like care when it comes to what you might be going through. There's no kind of like, oh, I'm so sorry you're ill, like, hope you feel better soon, like, let me know if I can do anything, can I get you some medicine or anything like that. It's just all about them. But yet when they're ill or like they've got a headache or something, it's suddenly like it's literally the end of the world. Like, they might as well be dying in hospital or something like that due to this headache, because they are just making it into this massive deal. And they expect everybody else to be super empathetic towards them. But when the shoe is on the other foot, it's like they can't seem to muster any empathy for other people. Again, I don't think it's just you. I think they sort of have this attitude towards everyone. I'm really getting the sense of maybe this being somebody who is like somebody you've been friends with for a long time. It could be a sort of toxic friend, somebody who you've known since high school maybe, who hasn't really grown up or something like that. With the pentacles showing up, it could be a sort of business associate, a colleague, somebody who you work with, or somebody who sees you at work. But it doesn't have to be. Equally, it could just be somebody who knows of you and they see you on social media and they see you kind of living a good life and they are quite envious of that. Quite possibly one of those three scenarios. That is kind of the three main situations that I'm getting with this reading. And because I say like, I don't think it's just you, I don't think this person is like this with just you, it's like because you are quite a kind and diplomatic person, I think you might have given this person many chances to sort of try and change this attitude that they have. And I think not a lot of other people have. And it's like instead of them appreciating that, they've sort of burned bridges with other people because they have this sort of constant victim mentality whilst also being in a weird, unhealthy competition with some people. I think, they've burned a lot of bridges. They could have fallen out with a lot of people. But again, when they come to you and they say that they've fallen out with somebody, it's always that other person's fault. It's never their fault. They can never take accountability for the situation. They never really tell the truth about the situation. And it's like the same thing when they fall out with you. I think they are telling other people like, well, Pal 1 did this, Pal 1 did that, and they're not really talking about their part that they had to play in the situation going wrong. With this Three of Cups, I'm getting the sense that this is somebody who maybe tries to influence other people's opinions of you in a negative way. But with this Justice coming out upright, I think other people don't really pay much attention to them. I think people know that they are bullshitting when they say things. I think people can kind of see right through them because, they have burned a lot of bridges, and these other people might know what this person is like, and they're like, I don't even trust a word they say. So if they're calling out Pal 1, they're saying Pal 1 did this, I don't really believe it. It's like there's some truth being brought to the situation. Even if they're trying to paint you in a bad light, people know that, they are just lying basically, or twisting the situation, like manipulating the situation. It could be that within your friendship circle, like on the times you aren't around, you'd like to think that a true friend will speak well about you in your absence, will speak positively about you, and I think you do in terms of other people, but this person isn't like that. And it could be that you have other good friends who are, kind of singing your praises. Like, let's say you've been transforming your body in some way, you've been sticking to a really consistent workout routine or something like that. It could be that this person is out with some friends of yours and the friends say, have you seen Pal 1? They're looking amazing. They've really worked hard to be looking the way that they do, and their hard work has paid off. Like, they're looking so good. Did you see their latest picture? And this person who has a problem with you is just so consumed by this sense of jealousy and competition that they always have to respond to something like that with a negative. So they'll say something to this group like, well, no, actually, Pal 1 doesn't work hard. They don't exercise at all. It's just luck, it's just genes. They haven't worked hard to get that. It's just they're fortunate. Not everyone can be as lucky as them. They kind of want to convince themselves that you have got the things that you've got due to luck and due to privilege, rather than like you having worked hard for it. So it could even be that they try to change other people's opinions of you in terms of making something up, like spreading an outright lie. So let's say like you are on this fitness journey and you've lost a little bit of weight or something like that, and that was something that was intentional, it's something that you wanted to do, and it's something that you're happy with, and you've done it in a healthy way. Again, somebody could say, wow, Pal 1's looking really good, they've lost this weight, and they'll just make something up, like they'll spread this literal fake news, this gossip. They'll say something like, well, Pal 1, yeah, they've lost the weight, but they've not done it in a healthy way. They've been taking drugs. That's why they've dropped the weight so quickly. It's because they've been snorting cocaine or something like that. They're just making things up that are outright not true. And I think the group of friends, if this is a group of friends, let's say, I think they know this about this person. I think they know this person is toxic. I don't even think other people listen to this person anymore because they can so tell that, this person is just really toxic. I'm getting that message through as well with the King of Swords. It's like this person needs to have control over the situation. So again, because they can't stand to see other people putting you in a good light. And if it's not a friendship group, perhaps this is a work situation, and it's like they feel the need to control how you are perceived at work or something like that. So it could be if somebody is acknowledging your accomplishments in a work setting, it's like they have to like knock you down a peg or two because they can't stand, being the person who doesn't get the promotion or something like that. They couldn't stand the idea of you having that above them. So they try to control the situation through their words, through spreading nasty rumours, through making things up. Ooh, I've just had another thought about what this could be, who this could be. This could be a current partner's ex. If you have a current partner who has been in another serious relationship before, or they have separated from somebody, or they have got divorced from somebody, this could be this person's ex is like they're constantly comparing themselves to you, because Three of Cups can sometimes indicate third party. And I'm not saying that this is like a third party situation in terms of like you're both seeing the same person or somebody's the side guy or girl. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, if you are with this person and they have an ex, it's like this ex is still trying to infiltrate themselves into that person's life and therefore your life by extension. And it's like they're trying to control the narrative of the kind of person you are. Maybe they are spreading malicious rumors to this person about you or something like that. And I feel as though, like, as well, what's so frustrating is I think that you have been nothing but nice to this person. Like, with this Knight of Cups, I get the sense that you are somebody who is quite an idealist. Somebody who is very much like, why can't we all just get along? Like, I'm literally just trying to get along with you. And this other person's just been so problematic for no reason, which, you know, I guess that's what the reading's about. That's the point of the reading. But it's still very frustrating. I think this person is just very wrapped up in seeing what they want to see and creating conflict and competition with you where there really isn't there's no need for this competition. With this Queen of Cups, I really feel as though, you know, as we were saying earlier, I think in the Oracle reading, we said that you are this source of warmth, you are this source of light, you are very supportive and nurturing. And I think this person can't stand that because I think they don't have the ability, they don't have the capacity, they don't have the depth to be able to be that way themselves. So instead, they're more focused on trying to shut you down, trying to put you down, and trying to pull you out of this energy, this Queen of Cups energy, because they want to see you stoop to their level. They want to see you be on the same level as them. It would make them happy to kind of get you to stoop to their level, and I just don't think that you're going to. I just don't think you're that kind of person anyway. You have a lot more grace about you. You wouldn't treat this person the way that they treat you because that's just not who you are authentically. You're not going to interact with somebody in that way. You're not going to be purposely disrespectful for the sake of being so because that is just not you. This person needs to realize that their little games, they're trying to knock you down, them trying to badmouth you to other people isn't ever going to make you stoop to their level. It's just not going to work. With this Fool card showing up, it could also be that you are very much somebody who is not scared to step into new opportunities, to go after what you want, to kind of dive headfirst into new adventures. And again, this is something this person hates because maybe they aren't able to do that and they just sort of resent you for your ability to do that. I think this is just somebody who makes things up about you in their own mind to just make themselves feel better about the fact that they're not where they want to be in their own life. So, with this Nine of Pentacles in reverse, it's making me feel as though, you know, this person lacks depth and they can be somebody who is just quite superficial. Maybe they have got into debt, maybe they spend money quite recklessly, and then maybe they look at you and they're like, well, it's not fair that I've got into debt buying all these things but pal one has all these nice things and they're not in debt and they're just not taking accountability for their own actions. It's really frustrating. You could be quite an independent person, like you have your own resources, maybe you own your own home, you look after yourself financially in that way. And they could convince themselves that that has been given to you, that you haven't had to work for it, or that you rely on somebody else to spend money on you. But I think this maybe just could be projection on their part. So they'll say to themselves like, oh, well, pal one only has all this stuff because their family got it for them or their partner got it for them. They're not really independent. They just have people to rely on and I don't because I'm the victim. This person is the perpetual victim. But again, it's like they're not seeing all the hard work, all the sacrifice that you've put in to building your own life. It's such a shame because this person could be focusing on their life, but instead they are very focused on yours and of knocking you down instead of building themselves up. And if this is a current partner's ex, it could be that this is somebody who you've recently got into a more serious relationship with or recently started seeing, and you feel as though, you know, this ex is in the picture and they are just sort of putting a dampener on your connection with your current partner. So it could be that, you know, if this ex was maybe hoping that them and your current partner would get back together at some point and this hasn't happened because they are now invested in you, again, there is this sense of competition from this person and of them being envious of this new beginning that you might share with their ex-partner. Or if it is a career, it could be that they are jealous of the new beginning that you are getting access to in terms of your job, like if you have just been promoted, if you have just been given a role that potentially they wanted or something like that, it could be jealousy in terms of that. That is what I am getting for you, pal one. So we are going to finish the reading by just pulling one more tarot card. And we are just going to ask whether anything will be changing in terms of this person's energy. This will just be confirmation of what you can expect from this person and this situation going forward. Okay, pal ones, the closing guidance for this reading. Let's have a look at what we pulled. we pulled the 8 of Wands and Strength. Okay, so pile 1, it is quite possible that there are going to be some quite rapid changes with the 8 of Wands with you and this person who has a problem with you. Now, this could be in relation to them kind of finding their inner courage, their inner strength, and working on their own self-confidence in order to change the way they are perceiving you by changing the way they perceive themselves, because that is what all of this is about. This is all based on their own insecurities and the way they perceive themselves. So it could be that something is changing in terms of that, them working on getting the courage to admit that, you know, these feelings towards you, this problem that they've had with you, that it comes from jealousy and this sense of competition. You know, that takes a lot of strength, a lot of inner work in order to be able to be honest with ourselves in that way. Maybe this will be, you know, this person becoming more honest with themselves. It could just be that the situation is changing in terms of like this person focusing more of this energy on somebody else and not you, which would, you know, still be unfortunate for that person, but it could just be that they are moving away from making problems for you. If this is an ex of a current partner or something like that, this could be in terms of them moving on to like a new relationship and no longer focusing so much on their ex and therefore no longer focusing as much on you. Hopefully it is the case that, you know, they are working on themselves and their own self-confidence, and that's why the situation could be changing. But either way, the energy that they're in at the moment, it looks as though they are going to be sort of moving their focus away from you in some way. And it is going to feel like a very sudden change, because this person's energy, the rage that they had towards you could have felt quite intense. And it's like this might be lessening in some way. You might be feeling this less. They might turn that energy towards something else, hopefully something better, hopefully themselves, but we will just have to see. At the moment, this is the current energy showing up. Things could always change as everybody has their own free will, but that is what I am seeing for you at the moment, pile 1. So now you know what this person's problem is. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you do like my content, please like, please comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. That would mean such a lot to me. Thank you so much for listening, pile 1, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, pile 2 collective. If you chose this red crystal heart and you chose pile 2, this will be your reading. This reading is titled Respectfully, What the F is Their Problem? So this reading will be in relation to that person you have in your life who you have been nothing but nice to, but yet they seem to show up interacting with you with some kind of attitude. They seem to not like you very much. And this reading will cover what their problem is. So this could be anyone. It could be a romantic interest, it could be a friend, a colleague, a family member, any one of those things really. If you want more information regarding what this reading will cover, then please check out the introduction. I do just want to say, if you like my style of content, if you like this reading, please give me a like, please leave me a comment, and please, if at all possible, subscribe. That would all mean the absolute world to me, and I really do appreciate everyone who's liked, commented, or subbed so far. I notice every single like, every single comment, and every single subscriber, and I am so grateful for you all. Thank you for listening, thank you for being here, but without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you, pile 2. Okay, pile 2, so we got the Rooster and Sunflower, Communication. We got Castle, It's Time for Healing, Not War. And we've got, from the Soul Truth Oracle, we've got What If It Isn't True? And then it says on the back, the thing you are telling yourself right now, the concrete reasons why you think you don't belong, you can't do it, you won't get there, you're not enough, or it's not for you. What if it wasn't true? Today's soul action, it's time for a soul chat. Close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and ask the wise one within you, what if it isn't true? What else might be possible? Journal your answer. What lie do I need to let go of to reach my soul's truth? So, pile 2, Respectfully, the person who has a problem with you, I think this person has a problem with you due to some kind of miscommunication or due to something being misinterpreted, maybe something that somebody else has said about you, maybe something that this person has heard about you has made them react towards you in a certain way. I think this person is potentially battling a lot of their own self-worth issues. This person could even be a potential romantic interest. And it's funny because with this communication card and with it being the rooster, you usually think of the rooster as somebody who very much wants to vocalize what they have to say. They get up in the morning, they crow from the rooftops, they are not afraid to be loud, to shout. But for some reason, with this pile, I'm actually feeling like the opposite energy. I'm feeling as though communication is stilted in this connection if it is a romantic interest. This person who suddenly seems to have a problem with you. It could be that, communication was flowing, you were getting on with this person, maybe you were in this talking stage, you were getting to know each other, and then it's like maybe this person's pulled back, or for some reason they're like approaching you suddenly as if they've got a problem with you. They are maybe approaching you more aggressively or just being quite off with you, and you're not really sure why, you're not sure what you've done. One minute you were getting along, everything was fine, things were flowing. And then the next minute, it's like this person just pulled back. There was a lack of communication. And again, I feel like it's something, that's been misinterpreted by them, or, they've heard something about you that isn't true, or something has made them think something about you, but it isn't true. It could be due to their own self-worth issues that they are battling, and they are projecting something onto you that isn't true. I actually think that this could be somebody who has a lot of strong feelings for you, and maybe, if it is a romantic interest of some kind, it's like this person is scared off by those feelings, like they are feeling things too intensely, and potentially they don't know how to react to that. So instead of, doing their inner work and wondering why they are so intimidated by these new feelings, these intense feelings, it's like they could be more partial to starting an argument with you when it says it's time for healing, not war. It could be like, right, well, I'm going to push you away by just being a bit of a dick to you, to be quite honest. This person could just be being a bit of a dick for no reason, and you're like, what have I done? We were getting on fine, and then this person is being like this. So I do get the sense that there was kind of already an established friendship. This could even be somebody who you have an established friendship with, and maybe they are feeling things a little bit more intensely, and that has created this kind of friction between the two of you because they don't really know what to do with those feelings. They feel as though they can't communicate those feelings. But it's like maybe there's some built up, some pent up resentment towards you because if they can't sort of have you in that way and if they can't express themselves, maybe they're just taking that out on you in terms of being a bit unnecessarily mean or just offish, or just, they've pulled back their energy altogether, or just when you do talk to them, things feel a lot more tense. It could be that when the two of you talk now, it seems to transpire quite quickly into an argument for no apparent reason. And you're sat there like, oh my gosh, all I asked you was how was your day today? And suddenly it's this argument, like what is going on? But it could be due to the intensity of this person's feelings and them not knowing what to do with it, them not being able to vocalize it. Maybe a part of them is, hoping to step into this rooster energy and hoping to shout it from the rooftops, but they just can't. They're just not capable of doing that. Something is holding them back. And this could be a friend because I don't know if you necessarily know that this person has feelings for you. Maybe on your end, you've come to this reading like very open-minded and you're not even anticipating this person showing up. And maybe you're kind of saying like, oh, well, I had this friend and now they're being a bit weird with me and I don't really know why. But maybe they're just in a bad mood. Like, I honestly don't know what their problem is. They've pulled back, but I do think that they could have potentially romantic feelings for you, but maybe they just know that, the two of you couldn't be together in that way, that there is no romantic possibility. But if it's not a friend, if it is somebody who you are like talking to in a romantic connection already and it feels as though they've pulled back, it could be, again, due to the intensity of their own feelings, but they could be convincing themselves that something is true when it's not, because maybe they are quite avoidant and again, they are intimidated by their own feelings. So this could be them like denying what they honestly want, even to themselves. It could be them, you know, sort of feeling as though the two of you have gotten too close too quickly, and maybe they've pulled back and they're sort of saying to themselves, well, actually, like, I'm not sure if I want a commitment, I don't want a relationship just now, so I'm going to pull back my energy. But it's like deep down, is that really true? And I don't think it is, but maybe this person, for whatever reason, due to their own trauma, due to the fact they haven't fully healed, they are unwilling to take it to that next level and be truly intimate with somebody because they just don't know how to do that. I don't think they're capable of doing that in this current energy. And instead of, you know, doing the healthy thing and trying their best to work on themselves or, you know, at least even partially explain some of that, I think this person is quite disconnected from their emotions in that way. So it's like instead of doing that and trying to communicate with you in some way, they're sort of starting unnecessary arguments with you and maybe being a bit more aggressive than usual. With these sunflowers showing up, I feel like that's your energy, like you are this beautiful, shining sunflower. So maybe, you know, this person's self-worth issues, maybe if they do have strong feelings for you and it is in a romantic way, it could be that they even know or they even think deep down that you are too good for them and they're letting their insecurity get in the way of this connection because they're thinking like, oh, what would pile two even see in me? Like they are this bright sunflower and I am in need of a lot of healing. Maybe on some level they recognize that and they think you are like too good for them. And that has made them behave a bit aggressively towards you because, again, they're resentful. Because even if it's the case that they're like blocking their own blessings, like they've shut down this connection, even though you were willing to give them a chance, I think it comes from insecurity. Maybe they've heard something that's made them insecure. Like maybe there's been some kind of discussion or something they've overheard about your past relationships, like your past partner or something like that. And maybe there's something that's got them in their feelings, something that's made them feel insecure. So let's say you all share the same friendship group or something like that. Maybe someone in the friendship group was talking about like your ex-partner and maybe they showed this rooster person like a picture of that ex-partner and they are quite physically attractive or something like that. Or maybe this person said, oh yeah, Pal2's ex-partner used to be in this position and they earned this amount of money and it was a lot of money or something like that. And maybe this rooster person, it made them maybe they weren't expecting it and it came as quite an unpleasant surprise. Maybe they felt immediately quite jealous of the fact that even if they knew, like, obviously you would have had past partners, it's like they felt inferior to this person and they kind of convinced themselves that because they couldn't compete with this person in terms of like salary or in terms of looks or something like that, it's like they out of resentment in a way took themselves out of the equation and they said, well, what would pal 2 want with me when they've had this person in the past? I can't compete with that. I can't give them this amount of money. I am not good looking or something like that. And really this isn't the truth of like the whole situation because it's not like you get into relationships due to the amount that someone earns. It's like you don't necessarily care about that kind of thing. And you're probably not like a shallow person or anything like that. So if you like this rooster person, it's for a reason. It's because you see something in them, but maybe they can't see it in themselves. So that's making them act out in a problematic way towards you because they're like resentful that they can't have you, that they can't compete with this other person who you've been with in the past. But at the same time, it's them that's sort of sabotaging that connection. That is very much what I'm getting with this pile 2. We are just going to roll the astro dice and see what's coming up in there. Pile 2. Okay, so we have the North Node. The North Node. We have the 12th house. We have the 12th house. And we have Scorpio. We have Scorpio. So, Scorpio energy could be significant to either you or this person. On the shadow side of Scorpio, people with Scorpio energy can sometimes be, quite jealous, quite obsessive, and it feels as though maybe this person is embodying some of those traits. Maybe they are stuck in a bit of a bitter energy over what they feel they can't have. And again, I think this is maybe something that they are blocking themselves because either, you have a friendship with this person and they haven't expressed their feelings because they don't think those feelings would be returned, or you have expressed feelings to each other, you've been in like a talking stage or the early stages of a relationship, and they have done something to sabotage it themselves. I feel like with this 12th house, it's like something has been revealed because the 12th house can sometimes be about like secrets, what is hidden, the subconscious. So it could be that, if they are a friend, this is literally a secret in terms of like they are keeping their intense feelings for you a secret, but it is manifesting in terms of like them taking their anger out on you, being quite resentful, being quite rageful about the situation, and not realizing fully where these feelings are coming from. Or equally, it could be that they have found something out recently which has changed their opinion on you, but I don't think they are seeing this situation with all of this perspective that they could do. I'm getting I'm getting the phrase like maybe this person has found something out about you that makes them feel as though they've been lied to, but I don't think that's the case. Like, I don't think you have lied to them, but for some reason they feel that way. They feel like they've been duped, they feel like they've been lulled into something. So let's go back to that example of them discovering who your past partner is and seeing a picture of them and feeling intimidated or something like that. It's not necessarily that you've lied. You could have spoken openly, like about your past partners. Both of you could have said, like, I had this past partner and we were together this many years or something like that. It's not like you hid them or anything, but maybe they've seen this photograph of this person and for some reason they feel as though, like, you should have told them that this person looked like that, or they did this job, or they did this and that. So it's not like you've lied to them, but it's like something's been revealed and they feel as though you should have said it sooner. It doesn't have to be that exact example, that is just the one that was popping into my head, but just something along those lines, something that's making them think, oh, they should have told me, like I can't trust them now because they should have said something like this and they haven't done. And also with the 12th house, it could be that subconsciously, again, because this person is quite disconnected from their emotions and really discovering the why of why they are feeling this way. It could be that, they are unwilling to acknowledge the fact that they have some self-worth issues to work through, and instead they're blaming you. Or maybe they're kind of projecting onto you and they're saying to themselves, well, pal 2 would never give me a chance because they think they're too good for me, or something like that, when really you haven't said anything to indicate that. That's just something they think about themselves and about you due to their own self-worth issues. It's like they have sabotaged, but they're almost blaming you. There's some resentment towards you for it. And I think some of this resentment comes from this person's deeper yearning to make you a part of their life, a part of their life path, a part of their journey. It's like on some subconscious level, maybe this person feels as though the two of you belong together, you are each other's destiny, but they can't see past this sense of bitterness and self-sabotage, this energy that they're currently in. It's like they can't get past that to go after what they want, to make you part of their life in that way. So that is what I'm getting for you with the oracle portion of your reading, pal 2. We are now just going to move on to the tarot portion of the reading, so please bear with me and we'll have a look at the cards you pulled. Hi pal 2, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay pal 2, so we have the 3 of Swords reversed, the 4 of Pentacles reversed, the Moon, the Queen of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the 2 of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Sun. Okay, pile two. So with the cards showing up in this reading, in particular the Three of Swords in reverse and the Moon, there is definitely some unspoken emotions going on here. There is definitely some repression of feelings taking place. I think this energy is kind of confirming what we said in the oracle about this person potentially having romantic feelings for you in some way. Whether these have been expressed or not, I don't think they have expressed the intensity of these emotions to you. So either pal two, the problem this person has with you is that they are a friend, or they are friend zoned, or they feel friend zoned, and they feel unable to come clean regarding their deeper romantic emotions for you, or that they are attracted to you. Maybe there is some difficulty with them expressing this. Or if you have already established that there is an attraction, there is a romantic connection of some kind, it could be the case that this person's problem is that something has happened, something has been revealed to make them feel a certain type of way about you, whether that is justified or not. And I get the sense that it's probably not justified. I think it's due to this person's own self-worth issues, but for whatever reason, they have had to pull back from you. They are being a bit funny with you, they might be being a bit off, they might be sort of starting arguments unnecessarily, and it's all because their ultimate problem with you is that they like you. It's like they want you and they can't have you, and ultimately that is their problem. But it is a problem that I think they have created, because with this Four of Pentacles in reverse, this can often refer to like financial insecurity. So it could be literal financial insecurity in, the example we gave about them comparing themselves to your ex or something like that, or saying, well, I don't have this salary, I can't provide for pal 2 the way that this person could, or something like that. It could be that they're comparing themselves in that way, and due to insecurity, they don't feel like they're able to pursue a connection with you further because they can't open up about what's really making them insecure. So maybe that's just kind of making them act out because of this built up resentment, because of all these repressed emotions, because of these things that they're holding back. It's really frustrating. But it doesn't necessarily have to be financial insecurity. With this person, I get the sense that it could just be general insecurity. For some reason, they feel like unworthy of you. They feel like they can't have you. They feel like they can't have access to you, or something like that. And it's making them feel like they can't come clean about these emotions. With this moon, it's making me feel as though like you could be having a conversation with this person and you're just sat there wondering why they are being so offish with you, why they're acting so funny towards you, because you could just be being really nice and you could be saying like, oh, hi, how was your day? And they come back to you and just say, good, fine, okay. Like you could be showing up, asking them questions, asking them how their day was, being nice, being genuinely interested, and they're giving you like so little back. But the emotions that are going on under the surface, you wouldn't even know about those because they are giving you so little now in terms of communication. Maybe they are just replying sort of very one-word answers. Maybe you're asking how they are and they just say fine and they don't ask how you are. But there is a lot going on under the surface. Maybe they don't even realize how sort of resentful they actually are towards you, or how they're actually acting towards you. But it's just kind of making you think like, why am I even bothering trying to maintain a friendship or a romantic connection with this person? Because they are giving me so little in return, they are giving me so little effort back. But it's like this comes from a place of them being very defensive, like being very guarded with their emotions. And I think it's because they do feel unworthy of you to some degree. They feel as though like if they give you too much, that you will shut it down with them, that they won't be enough for you, that you'll want more, and that intimidates them. So it's like they're kind of shutting it down before you're able to shut down, because they feel like that is inevitable. They feel like for some reason you won't want it to be like romantic, or you won't want to stay with them. You won't want the relationship to progress into something further. So they're like shutting it down so that they haven't given you chance to shut it down. It's like they're blocking their own blessings and sabotaging themselves before anything else can get in the way, before anything else has the chance to sabotage it. And I think this person has a lot of issues, a lot of insecurities, a lot of deeply rooted worry over this situation. Maybe they have just sabotaged it from a place of not wanting to get hurt, but it's like they won't admit that to themselves. Maybe if they think like if they established a connection with you in a romantic way, maybe they think like, oh, well, pal 2 is too good for me, and in time they would just leave me for someone else. So it's like they're shutting it down even before it's really got off the ground. But you're just left wondering, like, what have I even done to upset this person? Because it was all going well and now they're suddenly acting quite weird. And I think it's due to the depth and the intensity of their own feelings, but it's like they won't even acknowledge that to themselves, and they definitely won't acknowledge it to you. And as I'm looking at the 2 of Cups and this Sun card, I keep getting the phrase like they got too close to the sun, but I think it's because like they see you as the sun, and as well we got like the sunflowers showing up in your oracle reading. So it could be that, you know, they see you as this bright light, this person who is very radiant, this person who could have it all, this person who could have whatever or whoever they wanted, and they just don't feel as though they are on your level. They don't think they can match up to your standards. Again, they feel very insecure. I don't think they feel fully worthy of you. And when I say got too close to the sun, I think it's literally that they started falling for you in a very romantic way. And they got too close to you in the sense that they felt as though they were maybe expressing too many emotions, even though on your end, I just feel as though you're quite a warm and inviting person, and maybe you're somebody who, like, if this is a friendship, people open up to you quite easily, and maybe this person feels as though they opened up to you too much. And to you, it was just like, well, yeah, people, you know, tell me things about their life and about their like past trauma or something all the time. That's just something that happens. But on this person's end, it felt very deep. It felt like, oh, I have never opened up to someone like that, and that is quite scary. And it's made them sort of pull back. It makes them kind of resentful that you have got that information out of them, especially if they're normally quite a closed off person, because we got the Scorpio in like the astro dice as well. So if they do have significant Scorpio energy, I know Scorpio can be like very secretive when it comes to their emotions. Like on the shadow side, this could manifest in terms of this person, you know, showing up in quite a secretive energy. Maybe they're used to being secretive with other people, but when it comes to you, it's like they've told you a little bit too much, they've got a little bit too close, and then that's made them pull back. It's made them become quite resentful, or maybe like they haven't really expressed too many of their emotions, you know, if they do have romantic feelings for you, but maybe they feel as though they haven't been subtle. And on your end, it's like, I didn't even know this person had romantic feelings for me. But on their end, they think they've said too much, they've got too close, they've opened up too much in some way. They've like revealed their hand, they've given too much, even though on your end it feels like they've given barely anything. But with this 2 of Cups, I really do get the sense that there is this attraction. This could have been, like we said, the start of a romance blossoming. And again, it just feels as though this person feels as though they got too close to you in some way. I think there was this mutual respect, this sense of connection. If this is somebody you are, you know, attracted to, and you feel like they've pulled away or they're being weird with you and you don't know why, this is definitely to confirm that it is a mutual feeling. And I think this person has been pulling away and creating problems unnecessarily because they don't know what to do with all these feelings that they have for you. They just do not know what to do. It's like they've kind of given up on the idea of you. They're in this sort of self-defeatist mentality, and they've just said, well, if I can't have pal 2, I'm going to make pal 2's life hard work in terms of our interactions. Like, I'm going to push them away. It's like they've been trying to push you away because they're self-sabotaging, because they're scared of what this connection could be. It's so annoying. And I get the feeling that this 9 of Wands person is you, because I think you have tried to be quite fair to this person, and you've tried to kind of say, well, they've been a bit funny with me today, but maybe they're just in a bad mood. Maybe I'll try again tomorrow. But you're getting to the end of your tether with this. You're sort of on the verge of giving up with this person because you're thinking, like, how much more of this attitude can I take? Like, all I'm doing is being nice to you, and all you're doing is showing up and giving me attitude, and I don't really want to tolerate it anymore. You're sort of pushed to your limits by this situation, and you're thinking, like, how much longer can I go on in this situation before I just have to admit defeat and admit the fact that this, isn't going anywhere, it's not serving me. This person is clearly angry. I don't know what I've done, but this person, is behaving quite bizarrely towards me, and I don't think this is just a phase. I think this is just the energy this person's in at the moment, but I shouldn't have to tolerate it. I feel like you've maybe been quite stressed at the situation because it is this sense of like everything was going fine and then it wasn't, and you're like, what happened? So you did really see the potential in this as well with the Two of Cups. Like, you saw the potential just as much as this person obviously does see the potential. So you were like, right, well, maybe I'll give this another go. Maybe I'll try again. Maybe I'll try to make it work. But it just isn't doing due to this person's attitude. The energy that they're showing up in, again, is quite resentful. It's quite bitter. And you're like, where is this even coming from? But I just think it is all based on this person's stronger feelings for you and this person's inability to truly admit that to themselves and to you as well. And this might be quite a specific message, but it could be that this person felt slighted or felt like something was being hidden from them due to something to do with tradition of some kind. I'm getting with this Hierophant card. Maybe this is somebody who is quite like set in their ways in terms of their opinions and particular traditional things that are a little bit outdated. So it could be, if there was a chance of this becoming a relationship, it could be that this person, when we said in the oracle reading that it's like they felt lied to or they feel like something was being hidden from them, even though it wasn't. It could be that this person feels very insecure by your past and they are a little bit toxic when it comes to their views, like the traditions that they hold or something. So, with this Queen of Pentacles showing up, it could be that, it could be that they sort of established this relationship with you and they saw you as this like homebody type person or this sort of nurturing, almost like mother figure. And then maybe something happened where something was revealed to them that distorted this perspective that they had of you. And if this is the case, it's unfair that they put that on you because nobody is like just one thing. So if you are a mother or if you do take care of people, if you kind of identify with having that nature to you, that kind of personality, that could very well be one side of you, which is part of your identity. And yes, that is important, but equally, you could have another side of you. But it's like this person could be the type of person who kind of categorizes people. So let's say they see you as like this homebody person, and then maybe if the two of you have gone out with a group of friends or something like that, it could be like the friends have told some like crazy stories from the past, or like people who you've dated or people who you've got with, or they've just told a story that puts you in a different light. And it's not necessarily like a bad story, but maybe this is a story about you from a different stage in your life where you were like going out more or partying more, or you weren't this homebody energy. And maybe this person, like due to their own insecurities, for some reason, that has put them off and it makes them feel as though they've been lied to. It makes them feel insecure because they could think like, oh, well, if I just was able to keep Pal 2 at home, then they wouldn't be able to go out and like meet other people and I'd have nothing to be insecure about. But what if Pal 2 suddenly wants to start going out all the time again? And what if they meet new people? And what if they like someone better than me? It's like, I don't know, like they're so toxic about it. It could even be that they are like, they have traditional views in the sense that they have a certain view about like people who have dated multiple people in the past, or maybe I'm getting the word like slut shaming. If you have had other partners in the past and they found out about this, it is absolutely nothing on your end to be ashamed of, but it's like for some reason, because this person has quite a toxic mentality, And maybe they categorize people into being like one thing or another. So you're either like an innocent virgin or a whore or something like that. It's a bit like that Madonna whore complex, if like you know about that. That's what this reminds me of. It could be that this person puts people in very specific boxes, very specific categories, and maybe they thought of you as one thing, and it was revealed at some point that actually you are a multifaceted human being with many different aspects, and this person, because of their own views that they hold, being sort of stuck in the past or stuck in this one rigid mentality in some way, it's like they didn't like this and they felt lied to, and it made them feel insecure. It brought out their self-worth issues and their insecurity. It made them feel as though like you were presenting yourself as something that you're not, even though this is all their projection. I know that was quite specific. It doesn't have to be that exact example, but just something like that. They saw you as one thing and then they realized that you were also these other things. That made them insecure because it made them sort of question, maybe it made them question their beliefs, if they do have any of these toxic beliefs. It could also be, you know, if this is just a friendship, it could be that this is a same-sex situation. Like if somebody has feelings for you, they feel as though they can't open up to you due to tradition in some way, due to culture or something like that, due to some kind of barrier. It feels like they're repressing a lot of these emotions due to that reason. And again, this is creating that resentment. Like if you are a person who is straight, you want a heterosexual relationship, you hopefully want to have kids in the standard way or something like that. It could be that if this person is of the same sex as you and they have romantic feelings, they feel as though they're not able to provide everything that you need, and therefore they feel quite resentful of like just being a friend or of being friend zone, being placed in that box. So that is what I am getting overall for you, pal 2. This person's problem is basically that they want you and they can't have you, and that they have romantic feelings for you. That is definitely something that I'm getting, pal 2. So we will just finish the reading off by looking at a couple more tarot cards just to see if this energy is going to shift in any way, and if so, what is that energy shifting towards. We will just use this as a little bit of closing advice, so please bear with me and we'll have a look at that. Okay, pal 2, let's have a look at the cards we pulled for you for that little bit of closing advice. So we have got the 4 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. So, pal 2, I do think that potentially it's going to reach a stage with this person that I think they might realize that they can't go on in this energy that they've been trying to go on in. I think they realize that it's causing you and them a lot of frustration. And I don't think, you know, these altercations with you, I don't think that's something that they consciously want at all. However, they just feel themselves sort of lashing out and they don't really know why. So maybe with this 4 of Cups, this is them taking some time to go inwards. Maybe they need to create a little bit of space and distance with you. If you have had quite a sort of intense interaction as of recently, if you have had a kind of intense friendship where you have spoken every day, or you know you're in that talking stage of a relationship and you've been speaking quite a lot, this could be them kind of creating some distance in order to organize their emotions, because it's like this could be this person and this could be you, and you're just there with your little cup and you're presenting them with it and you're wondering what you've done, because you don't feel like you've done anything to make them react to you in this way. And I think they're thinking about that, like, or they will be, the energy that they're in at the moment, I think they will be considering that in the near future. And they don't want to go on like this. They don't want to keep upsetting you. They don't want to keep upsetting themselves. So I think maybe they could potentially take themselves away from the situation for a little bit. This could mean creating a little bit of distance between the two of you, not talking quite as much, things not being quite as intense. I think they need to really step away in order to analyze and process their emotions and figure out what is true and what isn't regarding the situation, and figure out where these feelings of resentment and this self-sabotage is coming from, to be quite honest. And I think with this Four of Wands showing up, this could potentially refer to the fact that you might reconvene at an upcoming social gathering, and this might create a little bit of clarity for you. It could be that once this person has time to take a step back, to rest and to reorganize their own emotions and to process everything, it could be that they are able to be a bit more open with you. And maybe, you know, when you next see them, if it is this at this social gathering or something like that, it could be that they open up to you a little bit more about what's been going on. And maybe, you know, it seems as though this Four of Wands, this situation, it could be a cause for celebration. So it's like everybody is in more positive spirits. So it could be that this person steps forward in a more positive energy, and they might let you know a little bit more about where they've been coming from, why they were in this sort of resentful or like slightly angry energy, what their problem is. They might be a little bit more open with you about that. Do I think that suddenly this Four of Wands situation, this celebration, is going to come in and fix everything? No, but I do think it would potentially give you the opportunity to reconvene with this person and to at least have a more civil discussion, because it seems like both of you could potentially be in the energy where, you know, you don't want the drama, you don't want to upset each other, you're not showing up to this event to do anything like that, you're all just showing up to have a good time. It could be that this person has a chance to, you know, go through that period of isolation, that period of rest and relaxation, and they're coming towards you in a fresh energy of being like, you know, this is why I was acting this way, and like no hard feelings, but that kind of thing. That's the sort of vibe that I'm getting. So that is the energy that I'm currently seeing at the moment, pile 2. That is the overarching energy of this pile. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did like the reading, please like the video, please leave a comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. That would mean the absolute world to me. I would appreciate it so, so much, and thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one, pal 2. Hi, pal 3 collective. Welcome to your reading. If you chose this blue crystal heart, and you chose pile 3, this will be your reading. So this reading is titled, Respectfully, What the F is Their Problem? So this reading is all about somebody who has a problem with you and you don't really know why. You've been nothing but nice to them, but they're treating you with a bit of a nasty energy and you don't really know what their problem is and you want to figure out why. This reading is all about that. So this could be a romantic interest, a family member, a friend, a business associate, a colleague, anybody, an acquaintance. It could be absolutely anybody, but this reading will go into why this person has a problem with you. We will start off by looking at a few oracle cards, and then we'll also look at the astro dice and then move on to the tarot portion of your reading. So if that sounds good, please stick around. We're about to get into the reading. If you want further details regarding what this reading will entail, please check out the introduction. I do just want to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone who has liked my videos, everyone who's commented, and everyone who has subbed so far. I notice every like, every comment, and every subscriber, and it all means so, so much to me. If you do like my style of content, please like, please comment, and please subscribe. I would be so grateful and it would mean such a lot to me. I really appreciate you being here and I really appreciate you listening, and I hope you enjoyed this reading. Okay, pal 3, let's get started. So we have the Frog and Lotus Metamorphosis. We have number 8, Wings. You never needed those wings to fly. And we have Am I Clear on What My Soul Really Wants from the Soul Truth Oracle. And we will just have a look at what's on the back of here. So it says, take out the shoulds and the limitations, get out of your head and pay attention to your heart's desires instead. If you knew it was impossible to fail, what would you do? Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Today's soul action, ask yourself, what is it that your soul really wants? What does your heart crave? Then take one step in that direction. Okay, pal 3. So, respectfully, if you would like to know what the F this person's problem is, this person takes issue over the fact that you have changed. This person takes issue with your transformation, the way you have grown, the way you have blossomed, the way you have developed. This person does not like it. This person has a problem with you for that reason. Now, I don't get the sense with this pal that this is necessarily an acquaintance. This feels like somebody who has known you for a long time and somebody who you've already established a personal relationship with. In terms of the nature of this relationship, it could go under any one of the categories of family, of friendship, or of romantic. I wouldn't necessarily say colleague unless it is a colleague who you have known for a very long time and you have already established a kind of deeper connection with, other than just working together or something like that. Obviously, it's going to be different for every single person, but I'm getting the sense that this is very much not just an acquaintance. It's somebody who at one stage knew you quite well. They have seen you change and they are unhappy with this change. And I think one of the reasons they are unhappy with this change is because they haven't done much change in themselves. They haven't grown much themselves, and they are not really sure what they want out of their life. And I think maybe recently you have been getting to the stage where you have a more clear direction for where you want your life to go. Or maybe you have had quite a clear direction for a while and you have been taking steps to make that happen. And it's like this person is not happy with that because I think they are kind of stuck in a stagnant energy in terms of like everything really, the place that they're at in life. It's like maybe it's not where they really want to be, but it's like they don't really know where they want to be. Equally, it could be something like their beliefs haven't evolved beyond like high school level or something like that. And it's like maybe the things, if you knew this person when you were at high school or when you were a child or a teenager or something like that, it could be that, they have not evolved beyond that stage. And maybe you have done a lot of growing up and you have really worked on yourself. Maybe you weren't entirely happy with the person who you were in high school. And therefore, although you have tried to maintain a connection with this person, it's like it hasn't quite worked because they are refusing to grow up, they are refusing to evolve beyond that level. And I don't think they're happy with the fact that you have. It could just be like the activities you did when you were a certain age, you don't find fun anymore. Like, if this is a friend who you've had since high school or something like that, you've known for a long time, it could be that the two of you used to go out drinking all the time. That used to be a thing that you did every weekend. And it's not necessarily like you're saying you'll never do that with this person, but maybe you have other priorities now and you've had to focus on other things and you can't give as much energy to like going out every single weekend. But you're still offering to see this person. Maybe you're still saying, well, let's do another activity or let's do this, or I can't see you this weekend, but I can see you this other weekend, or something like that, due to the fact that you have changed, you have other obligations and things going on now. And it's like this person is quite resentful of the fact that you can't prioritize them all the time. And maybe they say something to you like, oh, well, if we're not going out drinking, I don't want to do it. Like, you're no fun anymore, you don't do this anymore. They are really unhappy with the way you've changed, but maybe this change is what's best for you. Maybe you like the person you're becoming a lot more than, if you were ever a person who went out drinking every weekend, maybe you used to struggle really badly with like anxiety the next day. You used to get like anxiety or something like that. If you do, or if you did, I can definitely relate to that. I often feel very, very bad after I have had a little bit too much to drink. So maybe you have taken positive actions to like not drink as much on nights out or something like that. This is just one example. It can be anything, but it's like this person doesn't like that because I think I'm getting the sense that this person actually liked seeing you when you were down, or they liked seeing you in a vulnerable situation. So, to give the drinking example as again just an example, it could be that you did things on a night out that the next day you found very embarrassing, you were quite regretful of, and you used to say to yourself, like, I'm never getting that drunk again, I'm never doing this. Maybe this is the kind of person who would then sort of encourage you on the next night out. You were trying to be like good and stick to your boundaries. of not drinking too much, but maybe this will be the kind of person who would encourage you to drop those boundaries and to drink more. Like if you said, right, I'm done now, like I've had this many drinks and I'm not drinking anymore, this would be the type of person to show up and like buy you shots or something like that. And if you tried to say like, oh no, listen, I'm already getting a little bit tipsy, I don't want any more to drink for now, they would be like, oh, well, so you're going to waste these shots then? Like, don't be so ungrateful. I've just bought you these shots. You're being very ungrateful or something like that. They would just make you feel bad. And then, so you ended up having the shots, you ended up getting more drunk than what you wanted to get. And you ended up in the same pattern of like feeling as though you'd embarrass yourself again. And maybe this person kind of reveled in the fact that they could get you in that vulnerable position, that they had like power over you in that way, that they could get you to relent to some degree. And maybe they would be the kind of person who, like, the next day when you already felt awful, they'd be showing you all these awful pictures that they took of you. And maybe they'd laugh at these pictures and they'd be like, haha, look how drunk you were. You looked an absolute state. It was so funny. Everyone was laughing at you. You fell over, this, that, and the other. And they kind of revel in making you feel bad. And it's like maybe by you putting this boundary or you prioritizing other things or you refusing to engage in some of those activities that you used to engage in with this person, maybe they feel a sort of lack of control. They feel like they've lost you because they feel like they can't get you in that vulnerable place again. I get the sense that this is maybe somebody who never kind of likes to see you fully happy. And it could be if you have something going on in your life, they will always try to find a way to put a negative spin on it. So you could come out with some absolutely amazing news to them. I know this is a very random example, but it's just the one that's popping into my head, so I'm going to use it. You could say something to them like, I've just been signed with a modeling agency, I've got a modeling contract. And they'll turn around to you and just make it so negative. They might say something like, oh, right, but what are you going to do after that? Because you're not going to have your looks forever. You're not going to have that to rely on. So signing a modeling contract isn't the best idea because, you know, that modeling contract isn't going to last you forever. They could just put a really horrible kind of negative spin on it and just be quite bitchy about it. I don't like using that word and I don't want it to be a gendered thing. This could either be like a man or a woman. This doesn't have to be a woman or anything like that. But it could just be that they put this negative spin on it and they try to put you down even in like the most positive situations. It doesn't even have to be something that big. It's like anything good that's going on in your life, they try to find a way to knock it down. It could just be something so nice that they turn into a bad thing. So it could be you saying something like, oh, I entered this competition and I won a chocolate bar. And them saying, yeah, but chocolate's really fattening though. Like, should you be having chocolate? Like, they just make something that should just be nice and good into something bad for no reason other than to put you down. I feel like there's somebody who very much likes to enable your bad behavior. And I'm not saying that you behave in a bad way, but I'm just saying that, you know, we all have things within ourselves that we want to work on. And behaviors that you might have worked very hard to change from your past, it's like they want to drag you back down because they are still at that level. They haven't changed, they haven't evolved. And they see you sort of doing better. They see you spreading your wings. They see you kind of accessing this confidence that you have always had within you and that they have always seen. But they are very intimidated by the fact that maybe you are now finally starting to step into that confidence and you are really starting to see it and they don't like that. So they try to pull you back down to their level, this stagnant energy that they're in. They try and get you to sort of like do bad things with them. I don't mean criminal things, but I just mean things that maybe you don't feel are for your best self, like things you've tried very hard to overcome. This could even be something as simple, like it doesn't even have to be drinking or anything like that. It could be something as simple as like you saying, I want to eat healthier. So, you know, if I come to yours at the weekend, I'm not going to get a takeaway or something like that. And then them trying to make you feel bad and being like, oh, but I've had a really crappy week. I really wanted a takeaway. I was going to pay for it and everything. I'll feel really crap if I get a takeaway and you don't get one. So maybe then you relent and you say, right, well, I will get a takeaway, but I'm going to get the small meal rather than the large meal or something like that. Or I'm going to get salad instead of chips. And then it's like they do something to sabotage you. They'll order you chips instead of the salad. They'll do the opposite of what you've asked for to try and sabotage you. And they're like, oh, well, the chips have shown up now. Like, it must have been a mistake, but they're here now. Like, you can't waste them. You have to eat them. I bought these chips for you. You have to have them, or something like that. It's like they're constantly trying to sabotage your progress, because again, they want to pull you back down to their level. They want to keep you stuck in this energy. They've been unable to grow. They've been unable to figure out what their soul really wants. They've been unable to like figure out the path that they want to go down. It's very much given me someone who, like, you know, hasn't got out of that high school mentality, but also maybe like hasn't ever left their hometown. And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. So I'm not saying like you're lacking in culture if you haven't had the privilege of getting out of your hometown or living somewhere else. But I do think there is something to be said for like people who are unwilling to explore other cultures, even when given the opportunity. And I'm not saying you have to go and live in a different country or anything like that. And I'm not saying every single person has to go traveling. I know not everyone can afford that, or due to life circumstances, not everybody has the potential to do that. But with this person, it's like they think their way and the mentality that they're in is the best way, and they're unwilling to see your growth as like a positive thing. It could be that you have moved out of your area or something, or you have made new connections, or you have moved up in terms of your career, or you have established other friendships. And it's like this person sees that as you thinking you're above them, but it's not that you think you're above them, it's that you've just learned a different way of doing things. You're not placing yourself above them. It's just they feel intimidated by these new connections and this new path that you've gone down. It's like they feel intimidated by all these new things that you've done, because they can't envision themselves having access to that, and they don't really know what they want. So it's like, oh, instead of, you know, being open to the new things that you're experiencing, like this could be somebody who, you know, let's just use the like hometown thing as an example. If you've moved elsewhere, it's like you could have invited this person to come and stay with you, come and explore like your new city, you do that together or something like that. But this person, even though they have the opportunity to, it's like they refuse to, because they are acting as though like you should come to them or something like that. And they're saying, oh no, like I don't really like that city that you live in, even though they've never been there, they've never experienced it, they don't really know what it's like. It's like they're shutting it down, and they're saying like, oh, why don't you just come back here, because we can see this group of people and we can do this. And it's always sort of exploring something from the past that you want to kind of let go of, but they don't want to let you let go. And they also are unwilling to give these new things that you might be experiencing a chance. I don't know why, but I'm getting the vibe of like somebody who would get petty over the fact that like in your city there are unisex toilets and they've never seen one before. And they could even say something like, oh, well, I don't like visiting your city because of those weird unisex toilets. I'm not going there. I don't want to visit there. And it's something petty like that, but it's like they're unwilling to give the new things a chance, is what I'm getting. But they expect you to always come to them, to always return to them if like you live in different cities and you have to travel back to them. And they're always stuck in this same stagnant energy, always gossiping about the same people and expecting you to engage with that as well. And I don't think you really want to anymore. And they're perceiving this as like a slight. They're perceiving this as you thinking you're better than them. But I don't think you do. I think it's just that you know that it isn't good for you to engage in these bad behaviors. It's like this person has judgment towards you because you've made these new steps for your life and you figured out more about the kind of things that you want and where you want your life to go, and they don't really know what they want to do. They're quite confused, and I think this makes them quite resentful towards you because maybe you do have a clearer idea. Maybe you have escaped some of these bad behaviors and they haven't. So instead of them sort of morphing into a new person or trying to transform their lives, they just try to drag you back down to their level. So they have a problem with you because maybe you have established your boundaries more firmly with them and you are transforming, and yeah, they just don't like it. I'm getting the phrase like they accuse you of changing, but the problem isn't that you've changed, the problem is that they've stayed the same. but it feels in this current energy like there is no way for the two of you to meet in the middle. It just feels like a bit of a hassle whenever the two of you are interacting at the moment. It feels like you don't have very much in common anymore. It feels like maybe this is like a friendship you're holding on to for the sake of the two of you having history together or something like that. But both of you have kind of grown apart because this person hasn't been willing to grow with you. That is very much what I'm getting. We are just going to roll the astro dice to confirm this energy a little bit further. So please bear with me, pal 3. Pal 3. Okay, pal 3. So we have the 8th house. We have the 8th house. We have Sagittarius. We have Sagittarius. And we have the sun. We have the sun. Okay, this makes so much sense for your reading, pal 3. We have the 8th house showing up, and we have Sagittarius, which is associated with the 9th house. Now, the 8th house can refer to beliefs, it can refer to spirituality, and it can refer to personal growth. And with Sagittarius showing up, the 9th house can often refer to like learning, higher learning, philosophical beliefs, expansion. So this makes total sense because I definitely feel as though in recent months, if not years, you have really expanded in terms of your beliefs. You have grown a lot as a person. If you were once a person who, you didn't feel as though you were like entirely proud of yourself in the energy you were showing up in at one stage in life, it's like you have really grown as a person. You've really worked on your self development. Maybe you have been to therapy. Maybe you have just changed your beliefs, you've changed your mindset about something through education, through expanding your knowledge, through exploring different cultures, exploring spirituality, or something like that. And it's like you have really grown, and you have people in your life who resent that, particularly this one person who I'm thinking of. It's like they almost, I want to say, like, not bully you, but they're quite intimidated by the way you have grown and they sort of put you down for it. So they might tease you for having certain beliefs a little bit. This reminds me of the kind of person who, if like you say something that threatens their beliefs, even if you haven't done anything to insult them, even though you've been nothing but nice, they like take it as a personal attack. And this could be something as simple as like if you have decided to be like vegetarian or something like that. It could be that, you don't really bring this up, but this person and you are like having a meal or something. This could be the type of person who like makes a big deal over the fact that you've decided to be vegetarian, and they act like you make a big deal about it, but you haven't said anything about it. And this is because they are threatened, because they see your decision to eat in a certain way as a attack of them, as a criticism of them, even though it isn't, even though you've not said anything about their diet, about what they eat or anything like that. It's like they take it very personally and they see it as an affront. So this could show up in a way such as like you saying like, oh, come over to mine tonight and I'll cook you a meal, and then saying like, oh no, like vegetarian food is disgusting, I don't want that, oh, you'll be serving that horrible vegetarian food, I can only enjoy a meal if it's got meat in, I don't want to come over, and making it into this big deal and insulting you in the process, even though you haven't done anything to act this way towards them. And I think it's just them, it's an extension of their rage at you like changing, of you doing something to better your life. And again, like that specific example doesn't have to apply. It can apply in whatever way is personal to you, something you have changed or done recently in terms of your beliefs or in terms of just changing an aspect of your lifestyle that was potentially like previously harming you, that you feel is no longer serving you. In whatever way you've changed recently, this person isn't happy because they see your change as an attack on them. They see it as like, let's use that example of you being vegetarian. If you're vegetarian, they see you being vegetarian as you saying, that what they're doing isn't right, that them eating meat isn't right, even as though you've not said anything to them, you've not said anything like that, you don't even bring it up. So in that example, it's not that they don't like the food that you make, it's not that they won't eat vegetarian food, it's that they don't want to swallow what you are giving them. It's like they don't want to accept your change. Like them saying they don't want to accept your food is just a kind of analogy for them not wanting to accept the changes that you are making for yourself. That's all that is. It's nothing to do with the actual physical food. They are using that as an excuse to not accept the ways that you are trying to transform and grow as a person. With this sun showing up as well, it really feels as though the way you are transforming in your life, you are really shining, you're stepping into that more confident energy. And again, this person just really doesn't like that. They are the kind of person who likes to see you when you're down and out. They like to see you when you're not shining. And they get quite resentful of the fact that you are now more confident. Maybe they're resentful of the fact that at one stage in your life, perhaps you used to rely on them, or perhaps they used to be like the leader in this friendship or in this relationship. And maybe because of the changes you have made, because of the way you've grown, or the way you've become more independent, maybe you are relying on them less and less. You are learning how to shine more in your own right. And they really don't like that. It's like they're trying to claw you back by trying to get you to morph back into the old version of you, but I think that version is gone now. And they're very unhappy with this. They have a problem with you for that reason. Okay, so that is what I'm getting for your oracle reading, pal 3. We are going to move along and have a look at the tarot cards we've pulled for you, so please bear with me and we'll have a look at those now. Hi pal 3, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's just get straight into it and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay pal 3, so we have the Fool, we have the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, we have the Three of Pentacles, we have the King of Wands, we have the World, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Two of Wands. Okay, pal 3. So the person that this reading is about, I think they have a problem with you, pal 3, because you are very much stepping into a new adventure. New opportunities are approaching you, and you are very much stepping into more of a leadership energy, particularly with this King of Wands. I get the sense that potentially in the past, the roles with this person could have been reversed at one stage. Like, let's say this is your friend and you were friends with this person in high school or something like that. You've been friends for a very long time. It could be that at one stage, this person was the more confident version of the two of you, and perhaps you have always had this confidence within you. It has always been deep down, but maybe for a long period of your life, it has been kind of buried beneath a little bit of self-doubt. Maybe you have battled your own insecurities, you've had to go through your own healing. So maybe, you haven't been able to step into this more confident energy until very recently. Maybe you have, like the oracle reading said, you have transformed in some way. This could be like very physically or materially or just spiritually and emotionally. You've gone through a lot of growth and you have been able to express this more confident side of yourself. You have been able to take control of your life and make better decisions, make healthier decisions. You have been able to sort of embrace new opportunities and really believe in yourself. And maybe at one stage of your life, this person who you were close to, you would kind of look to them for approval, or maybe you would seek their advice in terms of making decisions, or maybe you didn't really feel like you could be as confident as what you now are. Maybe you didn't think you were capable of it. And it could have always been because, maybe this person sensed that there was something unique about you, some kind of way that you shine, and maybe they wanted to sort of knock you down a peg and knock this out of you. So maybe from the very beginning when you were in this friendship, maybe they have slowly been eroding your sense of self-confidence over time, and maybe they have been putting you down for quite a long time. But maybe you internalized some of this and you thought, like, oh, well, what they say about me kind of is right. I kind of am this way. Maybe they, used to kind of insult you or something when you were close friends. And you just kind of internalized this, you just kind of accepted it as fact. And maybe, like, if you and this person have grown apart in recent years, maybe their life has gone on one trajectory that they are not happy with. It's like they've ended up in this situation that they're not totally fulfilled by. And this sort of mask that they had of confidence was actually really just bravado and actually just them relying on like validation or relying on the approval of their inner circle. And maybe at one point you were part of this inner circle and you were there to kind of give them validation. And maybe because you had a little bit of like self-worth or self-doubt issues, maybe you kind of looked up to them and you kind of put them on this pedestal at one stage or another, or you saw them as this leader, you saw them as this confident person. But now you are very much stepping into your own sense of self-confidence. Maybe you have like moved out of your hometown, or you have got a new job, or you've started a new career. You have just bettered yourself in some way. You have transformed. You have done something to make your world a better and brighter place. Maybe you have found a sense of belonging somewhere. With this Three of Pentacles, it's like you have established connections with different groups of people. Maybe you have expanded your friendship circle. Maybe you have made friends with different people from different backgrounds, from different cultures. And this has made you realize that the world is a big place and the world really isn't as small as what this person who has a problem with you or was making it out to be. Maybe they kind of made you feel as though you would never really amount to anything. You could never go off and explore this country or go and live somewhere and be independent. Maybe they made you feel as though you weren't capable of that. And now it's like you are transforming by very much showing that you are more than capable of that and you can do these things independently. You can access this freedom. You can go on this new adventure. You can access these new opportunities, and this person really doesn't like it. They don't like you exploring that independence in that way, because I think they liked you being quite codependent. I think that's the word. I think they liked you depending on them for approval or to make your decisions or something like that. And I think they are very jealous of the fact that you are reaching these new heights in terms of your life and accessing these new opportunities, and they are stuck in this stagnant energy. Maybe they have made decisions for their life which they now don't feel happy with, and they now feel stuck. And instead of making improvements to their own life and figuring out how they can do better, it's like they're trying to, like we said in the oracle, like bring you back down to their level in some way. And it feels as though, like with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it feels as though the script has been flipped, like the look is very much changing. If at one stage it felt like this person was the person who got all the opportunities, who got this and that, who was very confident, who attracted whatever they wanted to attract, it's like not anymore. And they're very unhappy that you are accessing more of these opportunities. The look is changing for you. The tables are turning. You do not need them as much anymore. I think they really wanted you to need them. I think they can be quite manipulative, and this could kind of go back to what we said about how they would try to manipulate you to maybe do things that you didn't really want to do. They could have made you feel as though the friendship would end or you would get into an altercation if you didn't do what they wanted you to do. So therefore, at one stage, you would just do it because you just wanted to keep the peace and you were like, well, it's not that big of a deal. I'll just do it, I guess. Like, that'll make this person happy, because if I don't, they're just going to be very unhappy with me. It's going to turn into an argument and I really don't want that. So it could have been that you just kind of relented, but it's like not anymore. Like the tables are turning. You have very much learned how to assert your boundaries. You are not tolerating their bullshit and they hate it. Like, that is what I am getting. It's because you don't want to tolerate their bullshit anymore and you are unwilling to. They really hate it. And as well, like with the World card, I think you have found this belonging potentially with this other group of people. And if you have met another group of people, if you have other friendships, this person hates the way that you have got other friends that aren't them. That's what I'm getting. And it could be that, you have even tried to include this person in these new friendships that you've made. You could have said, like, oh, why don't you meet my new friends? Like, you'd love them. We could do this together. And this other person has been like, no, because they just want to keep you all to themselves. And it's like they've been unwilling to be a supportive friend by meeting your other friends or something like that. They could have put this group of people down. They could have said something like, oh no, they're just not my type of people. And you're like, well, you don't even know them. Like, you'll probably get on. They're really nice. And they've just said, like, yeah, no, they're not for me. It's like quite toxic because they don't even know these people. And I'm not talking about situations of like, sometimes if you're reluctant to meet a new group of people, if you have like social anxiety or something, it can be quite overwhelming. But I don't think this person does have social anxiety. I think they are just being a little bit bratty about the fact that, they haven't wanted you to move on and to meet these new people and to establish wider connections with a wider social circle. I think they just feel quite threatened by that. And it could be because they're somebody who has been like very stagnant in terms of their own views and they haven't learned and developed much past like high school, let's say. It could be that they really don't want to meet these new people because it would kind of show them up, because these new people could maybe be on more of like your level where they've done their work, they've like developed spiritually, they've had some kind of growth. And because this person hasn't, it's like they don't want to come face to face with people who have done their work and people who have focused on their growth, because it would just make them feel embarrassed about all the work they haven't done. And I just don't think they want to come to terms with that. With the world, it's like the world is yours, and they are very upset about that because the place that they're currently in, they feel stuck. They don't feel like they have access to the same opportunities that you do. And again, they just want you to be brought back down to their level. They don't want you to go out and see the world and access these opportunities. They just want you to stay stuck in the situation that they're stuck in. This person's toxic trait, this could be how you know it's them. One of this person's toxic traits could be gossiping about people and talking badly about people unnecessarily, is what I'm getting. So it could be that you are no longer in the energy of, wanting to put other people down because you have developed this sense of self-confidence. So it could be that you are very much supportive of like other friends of yours or something like that. Let's say you and the person who has a problem with you and this other person all meet up, you're all part of a friendship group, and I don't know, let's call this other person Sandra. It's like you all meet up, you all have a good time, you all have a laugh, and then Sandra leaves, and then this person says to you, do you not think Sandra is just really annoying? And you're like, no, like, I quite like Sandra, we just had a really nice time together, what do you mean? And they're just like, yeah, but Sandra's really annoying though. They just try to make it into like this bad negative thing all the time, even if you've had like a good time with this other group of people. And that could be how they are, with these new connections that you've made. It could even be that they're like that with regards to like romantic interests that you've maybe introduced them to in the past. Maybe they just sort of don't like to see you happy, so they always try to put it down. Yeah, with this Two of Wands as well, I'm getting that you are very much somebody who you have had to leave your comfort zone. If this person once was your comfort zone and you once felt as though you were relying on them too much at a stage in your life and you sought out their advice too much, it could be that you are leaving that comfort in terms of establishing your own independence. And you're making steps towards this very big, important, positive change in your life. And again, this person, because with the Five of Pentacles, because you've overcome this kind of adversity, this self-doubt, these issues that you might have had internally, this person has a problem with that. They really don't like it. It's like they can only feel good when you don't feel good. And obviously, that's just not a nice thing at all. We want our friends to be supportive of us. And this behavior just isn't very nice at all. Okay, that is what I am getting for you, pal 3. We are just going to finish the reading off by looking at a couple more tarot cards to see what might happen with this connection. What are these person's next moves? Is anything going to change in terms of the problem that they have with you? We are just going to have a look and see what we've got. So please bear with me, pal 3. Okay, pal 3. So, 3 cards wanted to come out for your advice, your closing advice, your outcome of this situation. So, we're going to have a look at what those are, pal 3. Okay, so you got 5 of Wands in reverse. You got Death. And you got the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so with the 5 of Wands showing up in reverse, this can sometimes indicate the end of a conflict. It can indicate restoring harmony. However, I do feel as though, the conflict between you and this person is a quite deeply rooted, long standing issue. And I don't think that it's something that's going to be miraculously solved overnight. I don't think in the upcoming months it's like this conflict will be resolved and harmony will be restored. It feels as though with the death card showing up, that there might be a period of time where you have to cut contact with this person in order to restore harmony in your life. In this situation, it feels as though you might have to cut this person off for a certain period of time and really be firm with your boundaries. If they keep showing up in your life in a way that is actively causing conflict to you, and if you are not the version of yourself who you want to be when you are around this person, it's like you might need to sever ties, you might need to create that separation, you might need to end this relationship in order for you to establish harmony, in order for it to feel like things are on an even keel, because it never really feels like things are on an even keel when you're around this person. It's like they give you more anxiety and more internal conflict when you're around them. So it could be that you either need to end things permanently, or you might need to say that you want a break, you want some space from this person. This doesn't have to be something incredibly dramatic. This could just be like if you live in a different location to this person or something like that. It could just mean naturally sort of distancing yourself from them. So, for example, if you go home to like visit your family in your hometown, this could be just making it clear to this person that you don't want to spend time with them by not making plans with them when you come to visit or something like that. This person could be more persistent in trying to access your attention, like they might not let you go that easily, and therefore it could be that you have to verbally say something, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could just be a kind of natural distancing, like the two of you, like you growing apart from this person and the both of you realizing that, at the moment in this current energy, maybe you're not good for each other or something like that. It could be this natural distancing, this situation coming to an end, a resolution being met in terms of the two of you separating for a little while to give each other space. At first, I was extremely confused about why the Ten of Pentacles was showing up in this reading, because I just don't think it made much sense with the two other cards. But now that I'm looking at it, like looking at the 3 cards overall, it makes so much sense. And I feel as though what this is saying is that this person, in order for them to be happy for you, in order for them to show up as like a true friend to you, they need to be happy and find fulfillment in themselves. So it could be that you need to end this connection with this person for a period of time, but it might not necessarily be forever. It could be that once this person finds fulfillment in their own life, once they're able to find their own sense of belonging, figure out what their soul wants, go on their own journey, and feel really happy and less insecure within themselves, It could be that the two of you can re-establish this connection, because at that stage they might be able to show up for you in a way that feels more authentic and feels more like a give and take genuine friendship than what they're currently able to show up in. It could just be that this person needs to go away and find something that makes them happy, find something that makes them feel abundant instead of just focusing on you and what you are doing. And it could be that when they have done this inner work, when they have found fulfillment, they are able to kind of apologize for their actions and show up in a healthier way towards you, is what I'm getting. Okay, so that is what I'm getting for your reading, Pal 3. I really hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did enjoy it, please leave me a comment, please like the video, and if at all possible, please subscribe. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi, Pal 4. If you chose this tortoise shell crystal heart, and you chose Pal 4, this will be your reading. This reading is titled Respectfully, What the F is their problem with you? So this reading is focused on that person in your life who just seems to have an issue with you and you have no idea why. You've been nothing but nice to them, but they are showing up and treating you disrespectfully. They are giving you attitude for no reason and you want to know why. So this could be anyone, this could be an acquaintance, it could be a family member, a romantic interest, a friend, somebody at work. It could be any or multiple of those. But we are going to start by looking at the oracle cards to check the overarching energy, and then we are going to move on to the tarot portion of the reading. If you would like to hear more about what this reading will entail, then please check out the introduction. But we are about to get into it. I just want to say that if you like my style of content, please like the video, please comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. That would mean the absolute world to me. I'm so grateful for all of you who have given me support so far in terms of growing this channel, and I'm just so grateful that you're here and you're listening, and I really hope you enjoy this reading. So without hesitation, Pal 4, let's get started. Let's have a look at what you got. Okay, so Pal 4. We have got the Raccoon and Sycamore, Curiosity. We have got number 17, Flower, Be Honest with Yourself. And from the Soul Truth Oracle, we have got, Am I consistently showing up? And then on the back, it says, are you experiencing a mountain of fear right now? Are you stalling, freezing, or giving up? The juicy secret is that you are the boss of fear. You are unstoppable, but it's up to you to see that by taking action. Today's soul action. Today, be brave and do it scared. Choose one fear and move through it. You are in need of a hero, so that is who you will become. Okay, Pal 4, so with all respect, this person's problem with you is that they are actually intensely curious about you. They are incredibly intrigued by you, and this is going to be different for every individual. For some people, this could be in terms of actual like romantic interest, or maybe somebody who you have had a little bit of a romantic dalliance with in some way. I don't know why I worded it like that, but it could be somebody who you have been like talking to, but perhaps they missed an opportunity with you, or they sabotaged a connection of some kind, and now they have a little bit of hostility towards you for their own actions. I think, because with this Be Honest with Yourself card, it's like this person isn't being honest in the role they have to play in this connection and potentially the problem that they're causing. So let's say that this is a romantic interest and it's somebody who missed an opportunity with you. With this Am I consistently showing up card, it could be that, you know, this person wasn't putting in enough effort into the connection. Maybe they weren't making it happen. Maybe their fear was getting in the way of this connection. Maybe they were unwilling to kind of put effort in towards you and deepening this relationship, and now they are kind of taking that out on you. If this is somebody who you were seeing at some stage, or like dating or something, maybe this is literally like where it says, am I consistently showing up? Maybe this was somebody who kind of stood you up before, or they kept canceling dates last minute and you just weren't about that. And maybe you said, like, look, you know what, this isn't going anywhere. Clearly, you're not that interested. You keep canceling dates. You're unable to show up consistently for me, or something like that. And, you were quite amicable, but maybe you said, like, let's just call it quits. And now it's like this person is kind of seeing you becoming more and more curious about what could have been potential missed opportunities. And they have a problem with you because they can't have access to you in some way. I think that is the thing I'm getting. Some degree of access is being taken away from them. So, this could be somebody who you were once in communication with and now you are not. It doesn't have to be romantic, it could be like a friendship or a family member, or it could even be an acquaintance. Because if you have like a social media presence or any kind of following, it could be somebody who follows you or somebody who wants to follow you and is now being denied access. And it could be that they are curious about something that you talk about, but at the same time, they kind of talk shit about it. But I do feel as though this person at the moment finds any opportunity to try and talk about you with other people. If this is an acquaintance and it's just somebody who like knows you from social media but not really anywhere else, it could be that if you do have a presence, they're the type of person who would like talk about you on gossip sites or something like that. They just always try to make the conversation about you. But I think it's because they have a lot of intrigue about what you do, the things that you are exploring. It's like they want to be part of it, but the only way they can really be part of it is by talking about you in a somewhat negative way. So if this is somebody on like a gossip site and they're talking about you, or just somebody in like a group chat with their friends, if you create videos or you put some kind of content out there or you're an influencer of some kind, it could be that they're messaging on this gossip site or they're messaging their friends and they're saying like, oh, did you see Pal 4's video? Like, what do you think of that? And they're proper trying to like analyze it. They're trying to do a deep dive on you because they want to learn all about you and all about what you're doing, but they're presenting it in a way where it's like deep down it's because they're curious. Maybe it's because they want a little piece of what you're doing, they want in on the action in some kind of way. But it's like instead of saying this, they sort of present it in a negative light and they kind of say, oh, well, Path 4's doing this, like why are they doing that? It's a bit weird, I think it's strange. And they're kind of going in with that mentality, but really it's because they have a deep fascination with you and what you are doing. And maybe it's something they want to explore, but it's something they feel as though they can't explore, they're held back from it in some way. And instead of, being open and, sort of asking you about it, they just kind of gossip about it. And if they don't follow you because they can't follow you, if this is somebody who is blocked or your profile is on private and you just don't let this person have access to you, if this was maybe somebody who once has had access to you and now they don't, they have a problem with you for that reason. They want to know what's going on in your life, what you're doing. They are deeply saddened and maddened by the fact that they can't have the full access to you. I think they talk about you with other people trying to find out information. They might ask other people about you. If you have mutual friends or something like that, they might literally go on like their friend's Instagram account and see what you're doing or something like that. They might try and view your stories that way. And it's like when they view your stories, if they see you doing something, even if it's just something like, oh, it's a picture of your breakfast or something like that, they're like talking about it as if it's some really big thing. They're saying like, oh, Pal 4 had scrambled eggs today. What is Pal 4 thinking having scrambled eggs? Like, I don't know. They're just kind of fascinated by you. They want to know what you're doing at all times. And they just want access to you and they're mad at the fact that they can't have full access to you. And I feel like with this girl and the hand over her mouth like that, I think when this person is talking to other people about you, it's like I feel as though they might let something slip that is more complimentary towards you, because they might say something that kind of indicates more of this curious energy rather than like a judgmental energy. And then it's like they want to take it back, because I think the people who they're talking to you about can maybe sense that, you know, there are romantic feelings there or just interest and it isn't all negative. So then if they say something to these people, it's like they say too much and they want to kind of take it back. Maybe they start off sort of gossiping about you and it's a little bit negative, and they're asking other people what you're doing and they're making comments about that. And maybe these other people are like, okay, you know, like, let's stop talking about Pal 4 now. Like, that's what they're doing. We've told you, like, you know, let's move on. And maybe this person just continues to talk about you, and it's kind of clear to these other people that it's become a bit of a fascination, a bit of an obsession. And they're like, okay, we get it. Like, you're obsessed with Pal 4. Just leave it alone. Come on. And then this person feels as though they've said way too much. They feel as though they've let the cat out of the bag. They feel as though it's going to get back to you, that they have these like strong feelings for you, because maybe, you know, they kind of try to act nonchalant or like they're not that interested in you. Maybe they haven't like tried to follow you. Maybe you just sense that, you know, they're kind of lurking, and I think maybe they are lurking on other people's accounts or something like that. So if it's anything like that, it could be that, you know, they don't want you to know that they're thinking about you that much, especially if this was like a past romantic interest or something like that. Doesn't have to be, but if it is, it could be that they don't want you to know that they, you know, still think about you at all. It's like they don't want to give you the satisfaction, but at the same time, it's like they're spending all their energy talking about you and thinking about you. So like, I don't know what to tell this person. Like, what do they expect? But that is the overarching energy I'm getting with the oracle cards, Pal 4. We are just going to roll the astro dice and see if we can get a bit more clarification regarding this energy. So please bear with me and we'll have a look at that. Pal 4. Okay, Pal 4. So we have the third house. We have the third house. We have Mars showing up. We have Mars, and we have Cancer. We have Cancer. Okay, so with the third house showing up, Pal 4, this person is definitely talking about you a lot. The third house, you know, is the house of communication. It's a Gemini house. I think this person is letting way too much slip about you, and maybe, you know, if this is somebody who had a bit of a romantic interest in you in the past, I think they are letting a lot slip about you, and sometimes their deeper feelings, their sort of curiosity about you is coming out. And I think people around them are wondering why they are so obsessed with you, why they're talking about you so much. I think they make it quite obvious. It's quite difficult for them to keep this a secret. You are kind of at the forefront of their mind, and I think the other people around them are getting a little bit sick and tired of them talking about you, of them trying to bring you up. Maybe these other people don't want to talk about you in that way. And this person, you know, they are just continually bringing you up. If they are having a conversation with a group of people about something else, it's like they'll find a way to slip you into conversation to try and make it about you. And it could also indicate what we were saying, like if this is an acquaintance, this could be social groups online or something like that, or there could be some kind of connection with online. Or maybe this person trying to like badmouth you in some comments or something like that, sort of being obsessed with you in that way. And with Mars showing up, it's like this person is, on the one hand, quite angry with you, but equally, Mars can also indicate like sexual attraction. So I think, you know, this person, this curiosity could come from some form of sexual attraction. It could be that they're curious about you in that way, but this curiosity manifests as more anger, because maybe they can't have access to you in this certain way if they are blocked or if you are on private. And if you haven't like accepted them in that way, it could manifest as anger. but it's just like they're very eager to learn more about you. They have this innate drive to find out more about you, to establish more and more information. They turn into a little bit of a detective when it comes to you, but I'm not sure if you want to be detected by them. However, if it's not anything to do with like sexual attraction or a romantic interest or anything like that, this could be somebody in your family, like maybe a family member who you don't really get on with, you don't really share the same values. Maybe you feel as though they're quite negative about what you do, the things that you explore, the things that you talk about, or something like that. So this could be this family member kind of bad mouthing you or making comments about you or like discussing you with other members of the family. I'm only saying that because with Cancer coming up and Cancer ruling the fourth house, that can be to do with like home and roots. So this could be somebody who's in like disapproval of like some kind of content that you put out online or some kind of creative project that you're working on or something like that. Or this could just indicate the fact that this person kind of wants to cling on to you. All they want to talk about is you. They are just wanting to cling on to your energy in some way. If this is somebody who you were once linked with in the past and now you're not, it could be that, you know, if you ever get brought up in conversation, if it's in a positive way or whatever, this person will chip in with like, oh yes, I knew Pal 4 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. They just have this kind of fixation with you. This could be somebody who is in some way quite over emotional. They could be a little bit manipulative as well if we're talking about the shadow side of Cancer. You know, Cancer can sometimes be emotionally manipulative in that kind of way. This could be somebody who is quite defensive or somebody who can stick their claws in as well, like stick their pincers in if we're talking about crabs. Or somebody who could be a little bit crabby. Maybe their attitude is just a little bit crabby and everyone around them is like, why? Like, why are you so aggro about Pal 4? Like, it doesn't seem like they're even paying attention to you and you're just so aggro about it. And they're just in this crabby energy over you and they're just like, yeah, I just don't like what Pal 4 is doing. That content they're putting out there is really weird. I'm not about that. I don't like it. And everyone around them is just kind of fed up of it and just like, shut up, you're going on about them too much. That is what I am getting overall for you, Pal 4. So we are now just going to move on to the tarot portion of your reading and we'll have a look at what we got for you. Hi Pal 4, welcome to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's just have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, Pal 4, so we have Queen of Swords. We have the Seven of Wands reversed. We have the Nine of Pentacles reversed. We have Temperance reversed. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. And we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, Pal 4. So with this Ace of Wands showing up, I am very much leaning towards the idea that this could be somebody who at one stage, well, and still now, is very much sexually attracted to you. And I think they are honestly like gutted at the fact they perhaps haven't been able to explore you in that way because they are still intensely curious about what this experience would be like. So they have a problem with you because maybe you've shut them out, you stopped them having access to that. If you have already connected with this person sexually or romantically, it's like there was still a lot more to be discovered, still a lot more that they wanted to explore in that way with you. And unfortunately, their access has been denied. Like, it's like access revoked to you. They don't have that access anymore, and they have a problem with you because of that. But I think obviously this is due to their own actions. I'm getting with the Temperance in reverse that this is very much somebody who is quite reckless and they could have treated you quite recklessly. They could have, you know, not shown up for you in the way that you needed them to. They could have had this quite chaotic energy about them. They could have been out of balance. You know, it's like we said, they could have literally cancelled dates or just not shown up for you in the way that you needed them to. You have had to like end this connection with them, you've had to shut things off, you've had to deny access, and they are upset because they feel entitled to this access and they no longer have it. And it's like with the Cancer energy that was showing up in the Astro dice, it's like they want to cling on to your energy, they still want to have access in that way, and they just no longer do, and it's something that's very frustrating for them. But if it's not a like romantic or sexual interest, if it is like a friend or family member or something like that, it could just be that they have a problem with you due to your creative spark, due to what you are passionate about, maybe the things that you speak on in terms of social media. If you speak about issues or you just speak about the things you are passionate about, it's like this person has a problem with that. They always have something bad to say about the things that you are doing or saying. And I think it does potentially come from envy or their inability to possess some of the skills that you have, because I think they very much see you in this Queen of Swords energy. So perhaps this is somebody who, you know, they can't really take constructive criticism, and you are very much somebody who gives and takes constructive criticism. Like, you can deal with that quite well. You are very principled in the way that you deliver a message. So if you do talk about something openly on social media, it could be that this person is like part curious about your perspective, but instead of admitting that, you know, they want to learn more about what you're saying, it's like they immediately jump to judging it. They immediately jump to talking shit about the things that you have to say, when in reality you are being quite fair, and I think deep down they know this, but because this person is quite unbalanced and quite chaotic, it's like they might have all these, they might be quite reckless in terms of the things that they say. They might be in like a Queen of Swords reversed energy. This could be where they are the kind of person who they're always like talking first and then thinking later. Maybe they say things accidentally, things just come out. Maybe they speak on topics that they're not really educated enough to speak on, and maybe sometimes they partially regret saying some of the things they do, and maybe they envy you because your responses to things, your delivery of a message, it's very well thought out, it's very honest, and it's very fair, and you can tell you've put a lot of thought into it. You can tell that you back up what you have to say with your knowledge. You can also tell that the things that you say come from a place of having good morals. It comes from a place of you having established principles. And sometimes this person is not in that energy and they can't match up to that energy. So when they're faced with seeing you saying and doing all these things that really align with your principles, it can feel quite difficult to them. It can feel almost like an affront or a challenge to them in some way. And I really don't want this to come across in like a mean way, because I know that we all learn things at different stages, but it feels as though partially this person cannot grasp some of the concepts that you grasp. And I don't think, like, I'm not saying this person is unintelligent. I don't want to say this person is stupid or anything like that, that they're unintelligent, but I will say that this person does not utilize their brain to its full capacity. They do not utilize the intelligence that they do have. I think this person can be like lazy in terms of really thinking about things that are deeper than surface level. So maybe if you put an opinion out there that's on a sort of deeper topic, maybe they are saying things like, oh, Pal 4 is always talking about XYZ and it's so annoying, they're always putting a dampener on things. It's like this person doesn't want to think about things at a deeper level. They can be quite superficial with this Nine of Pentacles reversed. They can be quite materialistic and surface level. Maybe they are the kind of person who, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but it just might be an indicator of who this is. Maybe they are the kind of person who, like, the only content they like to consume is like clothing hauls, or like they just like to do online shopping and they don't really engage with any other content that's exploring deeper or more controversial topics or something like that. And maybe if they have you on social media or they have access to you in some way, maybe you talk about those things, or they once did. Maybe you talk about those things and maybe they're saying to other people like, They're like, pile four talks about all this stuff that nobody cares about and nobody's listening. But really, quite a lot of people are listening, but they're not because they just want to stay in their little bubble of only thinking about the superficial. And I think also they can be quite narrow minded. And again, like, this isn't necessarily that I'm saying they're stupid, it's just that they're unwilling to kind of expand their perspective. So I think this person's problem is more to do with the fact that they either don't have as much access to you as what they would like, and they very much want to cling on to your energy, or that they are very much confused by the things you say and do because they are unwilling to expand their perspective. Because with this Three of Wands, this is indicating that perhaps you are somebody who, you are only expanding your viewpoints, you are expanding your knowledge, you are growing in confidence. And perhaps with the Six of Wands, this is something you are maybe receiving acclaim for in some way. This could be in terms of like literally material rewards, more financial stability. However, it could be just that you are getting a lot of comments from people online or in person just to say that, what you have to say, what you are doing is important. You are getting recognition if you do have a social media presence, or if you are like an influencer or something like that. It could be that, you are receiving praise for something you are speaking about, and this person is like cut off from you in a way. Maybe they don't have access to all of you in that way, but equally, if they do see what you're doing, it's like they're saying to other people, oh, I don't really get it. But instead of admitting they're curious about it, they are just kind of poo pooing your ideas, basically. This could even be something as simple as you being on private in terms of like your Instagram, and maybe this person, maybe you won't allow them to have access to you so they can't follow you. It could be something as simple as you posting a selfie and getting a lot of comments, a lot of praise on your selfie, people saying you look really good or something like that. And maybe this person behind the scenes is kind of like talking shit about it or saying like, oh, they don't even look that good. But at the same time, they want to view your profile. They are intensely curious about being on your profile, looking through all your pictures, seeing which selfies you posted recently or something like that. So it's like they're very contradictory because as much as they're saying that you're not an interesting person and you're not doing anything that's exciting or interesting, they are very interested in you. They stay stuck on you and on your profile. They are clinging on to whatever access they can have to you. And I think also they are very much somebody who kind of brags by them once knowing you or something like that. So it could be that, if anyone brings you up, if you are doing quite well for yourself at this stage in your life, whether that just be like you're looking really good or you've achieved some kind of career success, or like you do have a social media presence and you're like a little bit famous in that way, or like semi-famous in some way, it could be that this person just can't wait to express that they knew you, or they were once close to you, or you and them once had a thing or something like that, or they knew you in some capacity. So it's like they're kind of bad mouthing you, they have a problem with you, but at the same time, they can't wait to tell people that they know you or that they had a thing with you of some kind. With this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this person is very much showing up in a quite self-absorbed and envious energy towards you. This could actually be somebody who is at the moment looking quite, I don't want to be rude, but like the Queen of Pentacles in reverse can sometimes indicate like somebody who is unkempt. So like if they're not taking care of themselves, maybe they now see you as like, if you have had a glow up physically or something like that, maybe they now see you as like so far above them. So with this Seven of Wands in reverse, it's like they've given up on the idea of you ever being together, if that ever even was a thing. They've kind of like accepted the fact that that is not going to happen, and they don't have a chance. And maybe this is why they have a problem with you, because they know that they can't have access to you again. They know that they won't get that chance back. And if they are, in a very sort of unkempt state, this could further solidify the fact that they want to cling on to any connection with you that they once had. So it's like if you are looking really good and people are talking about the fact that you're looking really good, it could be that this unkempt person over here is saying like, they're like, well, yeah, I once had Pal 4. Me and Pal 4 used to be a thing, and everyone's looking at them like, yeah, right. Like, Pal 4 would never give you the time of day. And that just makes them feel even more angry, I think. Like, that makes them have a problem with you even more. That makes them more angry because they're like, no, honestly, like me and Pal 4, we used to be, like, we used to have a thing, we used to be friends, we used to be, you know, attracted to each other, and they're like, nah. And this person is just like so upset by the fact they can't convince other people that they did once have a connection with you, especially, you know, if you have revoked access in some way. It is just quite funny because I think whatever they did to make you revoke that access, it was very much deserved. You know, if they're the type of person who they can't even show up for themselves, they are showing up in this unkempt, like lazy energy. And I'm not talking about the kind of unkempt you get when you're going through like a depression and you can't shower for like 2 weeks or something like that. I'm just talking about this person's own actions and their own inability to make effort out of laziness than anything else. And I think that is what was very much happening with this person. And it's like they have a problem with you because they can no longer get you. All their access to you has been revoked, or they don't have enough access to you. If they do have some access to you, it is not enough to satiate their curiosity, is what I'm getting. This would be the kind of person where, like, if you have a hobby or an interest that you talk about openly, they are kind of bad mouthing that to other people instead of just admitting that they're curious about it. And that is really sad because this person could have a lot to learn from you. You and this person could go and do this hobby together. They could just be more open minded and they wouldn't have to be in this energy of having this problem with you. But instead, they are unwilling to admit that this resentment comes from a profound intrigue over you and what you are up to. And that is just very sad for them. And I do feel bad for them. But ultimately, you know, they are bringing this upon themselves. So we are just going to finish this reading by looking at a couple more tarot cards, and that will just be like a little bit of closing advice in regards to an outcome for this situation. So please bear with me, Pal 4, and we'll have a look into that. Okay, Pal 4, let's have a look at the cards we've pulled for you. So this is regarding the outcome of this situation. Let's have a look at what we got. We have got the 9 of Cups, and we have got the 10 of Swords. So unfortunately, Pal 4, with this 10 of Swords showing up, I think this person is going to stay in this energy of self-victimization. They are going to stay feeling stuck, and I think partially it is because they are just very hung up on you. I think if this is a missed opportunity of some kind, whether it's, you know, a friendship or a romantic partnership or just an acquaintance, if they feel as though they have somehow missed an opportunity with you, it's like they can't really move past that situation. They are very much stuck thinking about you, talking about you. And this is kind of exhausting them, but at the same time, it's like they're clinging on to it. So I think you might still be in this person's mind for a good while yet, if I am completely honest. They might still be trying to talk about you to other people. They might sporadically try and check up on you. I just keep getting this phrase like they are stuck on you. So even if they can't have like access to your social media or anything like that, it's like they keep trying to have a look. It's like they always return to you. They always try to take a glance at what you're doing. And it just kind of fuels this bitterness within them of like this missed opportunity of some kind, or this inability to have full access to you, and of them feeling like victimized by that, even though it was something that, you know, they potentially brought on themselves. But however, what I will say is that I don't think this is actually going to affect you. With this 9 of Cups, I think you are not even thinking about this person. And honestly, if they have something negative to say about you, it's like you don't care because you are too busy going after your goals. You are too busy achieving things. You are too busy enjoying a successful life. I feel like the thing you are pursuing at the moment, although this person might pretend that they have some like negative opinions on it because they are honestly just curious about it, but they can't admit that for some reason, although they might have opinions on it, I feel like this is something that's making you very happy, and it's like your wishes are coming true. It could be that you are fulfilling something that's always felt very important to you. It feels like you are maybe aligning more with your destiny or your life purpose if you believe in having a life purpose of some kind. It's like you're doing more fulfilling things to make you happy, and you are achieving success in that way. So you're honestly not too bothered about what this person is saying or thinking. It's like it isn't having an impact on you in any big way. You are just so focused on yourself, your own growth, achieving your own success, that this person, they are on the floor, collapsed, exhausted by their own bitterness, but you're not even thinking of them. You're not giving them the time of day. Oh, that's so weird as well. Like we were talking about Cancer, and there's the crab on this card, and the cat is like batting at this crab. So, like, I don't know. It's like, oh, this could mean that you have like supportive friends and family, or like a supportive partner or something around you that is keeping this negativity from this other person at bay. So I get the sense like this is you on this card. And then this cat is like the supportive friend slash family slash partner. And then here's this little crabby crab coming up to you to try and destroy your peace and try and get you out of this energy of success. And your support is following through, and they're just batting them away. They're like, go away, get out of Pal 4's space, you are not worthy. And they're just, I don't know why I keep doing that, but they're like pushing this person away. They're not letting this person access your space. They're not letting this person get you down. So this could be somebody who is really showing up as your emotional support, somebody who is helping you achieve this success. And they're keeping this crab person, this person who has a problem with you, very much out of your space and energy, which is where they need to be, because they are causing problems unnecessarily, and it's not okay, Pal 4. So that is what is happening for you, Pal 4. That is the overall energy I'm getting. I hope this provided some clarity. I really hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did enjoy the reading, please like the video, please leave me a comment, and if at all possible, please subscribe. All of that would mean the absolute world to me. But yeah, other than that, I'm just really grateful for you being here. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next reading. Take care.